Welcome everyone back to another tier stream with Horror with Nadja. Thank you so much for joining today. Before I bring my expert panel on as we tear into these vampire movies, please do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the stream as well, share it out to your friends, your family, your church, whoever, just share it out. That being said, I need to bring in everybody. So we've got Enzo, we've got Tur. I don't know if I want to call you Tur. We'll call her.
Just add a D to it.
Vex. Yeah, turd.
I don't even know who started calling me Tur, dude. Like, I was always just saying, hey, just call me uninspired. It was like someone said Tur. It just stuck.
Yeah.
I've always known you as Tur, but
I call him Garfield.
Vex, how are you, girl? I know you're tired.
Yeah, I'm tired, but I'm here to dunk on 1990s Dracula real hard before I leave.
Ooh.
You mean Dracula
you?
2000?
No. 1992, Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
All right, so move that all the way to the back of the list.
You mean the legendary director of Megalopolis? That
Yes.
man? Oh,
Yes,
come on.
that
my
man,
favorite Dracula movie? My absolute
That ain't a Dracula movie, B. It ain't a Dracula movie. I'm sorry.
Sexy movie. It's a sexy movie. Okay.
We were talking about how Francis Ford Coppola wanted to make that movie have no sets, like be filmed in like a black void with like all the money on costumes, and Columbia Pictures was like, "No, what are you, nuts?"
Thank you for having me, though. Good to be here.
I'm always happy to have you. Enzo, how are you, sir?
Great, just fixed mother's toilet. It was leaking or running, and we didn't think it was a big deal. But then we got like a $400 water bill, and we're like, "Oh, maybe we should fix that right away." Okay, so I did.
Okay. I like that you're aesthetically appeasing with the red today. Kind of works with a lot of red.
Yes,
A lot of blood.
Yeah.
Uninspired. How are you, sir?
Blah, blah, blah. I'm doing very good. I'm here to talk about vampire. Yes, vampire film. Spooky. But yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I hope Hotel Transylvania is on this list, It's a vampire movie.
It's not. Enzo's right. We only touch the surface of what vampire movies are out there. So we will definitely maybe make this a yearly tradition for February. And last but not least, Blue, how are you?
I mean, I haven't drank since yesterday, so I'm doing good. Yeah.
Are you drinking tonight?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I haven't drank since yesterday, so I'm doing terrible. Got the tremors and everything.
Yeah, no, I told you guys, like, I put, so after 18 years, she was 18, we put down Chloe, and man, it's just like, it's people always shit on cats, but like 18 years, she was 1 month older than my son, and it's
I'm
still
so sorry,
Yeah.
BCL. Oh
It's-
my goodness.
my sister Jennifer, my mother couldn't be in the room, and like, it's one thing like you hear about it and people see in movies. I never actually put a cat down before. It's always like, hey Chris, they were hit by a car. Okay, it sucks, but you weren't there. Your dog was hit, but being in the room with them, I know what you said, it's just a cat, but no, like this cat was playing with my son when he was in diapers and as a kitten, and now like, boy, yeah, so I put pictures up on Facebook and Twitter and just, I don't want to get an animal again because you get so attached,
That's the tragedy. It's a tragedy waiting to happen.
Yeah,
I will tell you, I had a puppy die at 14 months that I was very attached to, just unexpectedly. And I never thought, I was like, I'm never getting another dog. I don't want to deal with this. I found another dog and I'm super attached to her. And she actually helped me in the healing process of like the grief. And I feel for you because like my cat is like 17 years old. She's an old biddy. She's
Yeah.
So
I had to put down my 100-pound German Shepherd Chow mix before I moved, and that was sad. But I replaced it. I got a cat instead of a dog, and dude, it's so much more chill having a cat.
Cats are easier, way easier. Cats are like roommates where you can leave them to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Where dogs are like children, you have to be on top of them. You got make sure. Cats.
I go out of town, visit people. I could do that when I had 2 dogs.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Oh, it's
I talked
harder.
about her. I was working, 17, 18-hour days, come home, and all you just see is just her. The food bowl's already half gone, but just sitting there purring, waiting for you. You pet her, she sleeps with you, and just you wake up and she's like meowing as you leave. And so but I mean, 18, I can't complain. 18 years for an animal, that's almost 2 decades. So it's good that and you guys probably know as animal lovers that the suffering. It's just the doctor said she's going to get progressively worse. So you know what? Let her go to sleep and go versus like every day. My friend's cat had brain tumors. He was, dude, I was holding the cat with seizures, and he goes, we had to take him to the vet and just let him go because holding the animal when they're having seizures, he goes, I can't describe to you what that's like. How awful
Cruelty.
it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I told my cat yesterday after your news, I was like, you better fucking 5 more years, girl. You better hold together. She's starting to have the cat dementia where she like forgets where I am. Like she'll be literally sitting on my lap and then go up the stairs and then start looking for me up there. Like, yeah, I'll be like, I'm down here, dumbass. Like, I'm back down. So yeah.
Yeah,
so, starting to show signs.
Yeah, so it's we all did shots and just give a toast to her, and now we're here. So
I'm with you. All right, well, we don't have cat movies today, so that's good.
But that is a potential stream tier maybe in the future.
There you go.
Well,
are there cat horror movies that many?
Or maybe like
there's Cat's Eye and Cat People, and I think that's it.
Sleepwalkers,
or like
evil the cat from Pet Cemetery. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's true. You could do like evil pets.
Ooh,
or evil animals.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the Tales from the Dark Side story where the killer black cat in the movie, the Tales from the Dark Side movie. That was a good one.
Oh, right. Okay.
You could do Cujo as well. And sorry, go ahead.
That's a great
one.
No,
you're fine. You're fine. That was the other option instead of Nadia's top 20 was Stephen King adaptions. But I figured I don't want to torture you guys just yet.
I haven't read that many Stephen King books, so I don't.
It would just be movies. It would just
okay.
be movies.
Okay. That's good. All right.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do that for April. We'll see. Chat. Sorry, I've been ignoring you. Anthony, thank you for showing up. D and Dice Gamer, I want to watch your stream. Blue. Vex, yes, one of your. One of the ones. Oh man, hold on. I gotta move Nosferatu because I have a clip for you, my friend.
I am an appetite.
No,
that's the clip, isn't it?
No.
Oh shit. Okay.
Uninspired. Kata's in your whole lot of red. I tried to get Kata to join one of my horror stuff, and he's like, I don't watch horror. I'm like, nothing, not even Leprechaun in the Hood. Nothing.
I thought black people loved leprechauns.
I don't know why. Love it. Hello.
Hey, Leprechaun in the Hood is great.
There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. That's why it's so good.
Yeah, he's like, I don't watch horror. There's nothing. I was like, dude, not even a thriller. Like, we could even talk about a thriller. Nah. What do you watch, Kata? Feet videos. That's what it is. Okay.
Oh, then Kata, hit me up, bro. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably gone. If not, all right. So, this tier is going to be slightly different for the chat. Slightly different, okay? Because I am monetized and I am a boss. Everybody, we're going to discuss. We'll decide if anybody in the chat wants to move a movie. It's a $1.99 super chat. That's it. So if you believe a movie should be higher up the tier, it's a $1.99
or lower.
So,
cool.
Or lower, like 99 whatever. No more than $1.09. I don't want to make you guys pay like $5 to move a movie, but that is for the chat. So if you guys just see a movie, now we are talking about vampire movies. I sent a list. I don't know how many there were, but let me share the stream. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, that works better. Okay. So each movie I have a clip for this time. I'm well organized.
Nice.
Ready to go. The first movie on the list as I talk.
Hold on. What are the tiers?
Okay.
What are the tiers?
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So S tier is Suck-a-tacular.
Wait, Suck-a-Suck-to?
Suck-a-tacular.
It's spectacular.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is like S tier. That is like ultimate vampire movie. That's on top. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second tier, which is like pretty good, is Bite Me Ooey.
You mean
I think it's
ooh-woo?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh-woo.
Okay.
Bite me,
Ooh. Bite me. Ooh. So that's like your A tier. It's pretty good, but it's not a 10 out of 10. I would say it's, I don't know, like a 7 or 8, right? I think the top tiers usually are 9 or 10s. Mid tier is about 7 or 8, and then middle, where it's not terrible, it's like a 5 or 6, is The Damned, and then anything under a 5 is going to be Keep It in the Crypt.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I have seen everything except for I think 2 movies, which I didn't get a chance to, which was Martin and I forgot what the other one was, but
Land of the Vampires, probably.
Oh, never mind. I haven't seen 3 of them. So,
Yeah, thanks to Enzo.
Hey,
I watched
busy.
Martin on YouTube, and yeah, because Enzo sent me the link for that movie, and it's a movie.
Martin. Yeah, but
Planet
guys,
of the
no, he's talking
Yeah.
about Martin. But
Oh,
I gotta tell
Martin,
you,
yeah.
Planet of the
YouTube.
Vampires has no vampires in it, guys. I hate to tell you this, but I was pretty upset to find that out.
Wow, that
Sorry.
sucks.
It's kind of like more like, hey, help, our astronaut friends have turned into zombies. That's the movie.
Well, surprise. I went off the title. I was like,
No,
vampire
hey,
movies.
I'm all for it.
I did like the aesthetic though from when I was pulling clips for it. Okay.
Yeah.
First movie up is going to be
Welcome to the other side.
Down the Vampire in Retreat. Vampires residing in a town where Sunscreen, a Van Helsing descendant, arrives, leading humorous situations as their paths intersect. This was actually recommended by Enzo.
Oh, it was
add.
actually recommended by Leon, but he
Yeah.
wasn't in. I said I'd be
Oh.
remiss if I didn't for Leon tell him that he really loves this movie.
And
Wait,
it's
what
on
is this movie
Tubi.
called again?
Sundown.
Sundown,
Oh,
the Vampire
Sundown.
Retreat. In Retreat.
Okay, I did not watch this.
Oh, really? Oh, dude. This
has
for me
Bruce
is
Campbell.
yeah, it's Bruce Campbell.
It's got quite a cast actually. David Carradine and
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
the
There's-
one and
okay.
only.
So this is one of those movies that like I remember vividly from a child, like watching it
Yeah.
randomly on TV. There's a specific part where some vampire is talking to another vampire on a horse, like, you know, pointing a gun at him. He's like, what are you gonna do with a gun? What kind of bullets kill vampires? And he shoots it right in the heart. And he goes, wooden ones, and he rides off. And I remember it being so stupid, but I loved it. And it was like decades later, where I realized what movie this was.
Yeah,
It's this
and
much.
Bruce Campbell's Van Helsing's great grandson, and he's Bruce Campbell. So
Yeah.
he calls
Honestly-
himself Van Hell. My name is Van Hell.
But hell, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty well shot. That's one thing that I really appreciated. It's the amount of really cool scenery that they had. They really tried to make a western,
Mm.
which I appreciate so much.
Yeah, it looks and feels like a John Carpenter movie, but it isn't one. It's weird.
Mhm.
It's like John Carpenter meets like a campiness to it a little
Yes.
bit, to me, in my opinion.
Totally.
Like if he like tuned up the campiness in his movies,
It's very
this would
campy.
be fit with it. What do we think it's gonna go on?
Honestly,
I'd
for
put
me,
it-
it goes bite me. Ooh.
See, I put it in the damned because we only have 4 tiers this time instead of 5. So I mean, I think it's like it's bad, but it's enjoyable. You know,
Yeah.
I had a fun
Yeah.
time watching it.
I would say there are better movies than it. It's not that it's a bad movie. It's a
No.
fun movie, and I think it's actually a fun party movie. If you have like
Yes.
people over
It'd be
to
a good
play,
drinking movie.
yeah, it's a great drinking movie. But I don't think it's a bite me movie. I think it is The Damned, at least top of the list of the Damned.
I'll go with that.
It def
Okay.
doesn't belong in the crypt though.
No.
No. Crypt is like,
at
I will
all.
never watch this movie again. This is unbearable. Like, why
Yeah.
did you put me through this, Nadia?
It's like Nadia said.
That's
This is
what
a
it
film. If we had a rewatch and some drinks, we could have a good time with this.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. Hi, Sassy. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hi, Reign of
God.
Horror. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, everyone. Hope is all well. Everything's well. Okay. Next movie is going to be a discussion because I know somebody on this panel doesn't like it. So here we go.
It's finger licking good.
Keep it in the crypt. Keep it in the
Fucking
A
legend.
small town
Yeah.
farmer son is reluctant to join a traveling group of vampires after he's bitten by a beautiful drifter. To me, this is Bite Me or The Damned. It is not S tier, but it's not keeping in the crypt. I
would
think it's
say,
actually a really good movie.
yeah. I think I'd say Bite Me as well. It's just such a classic, and you know, it's just a shame it was totally overshadowed by Lost Boys for good reason. But it's just such a good original kind of take on vampires that still hasn't really been replicated.
Yeah,
to
but
that
it gets
extent.
boring as hell after a while. It's like
Thank
me, this is-
you.
to me, this is one case where when you follow the main character and he's running away with this girl, and they just follow him and her for like a little section. It's like, I'm going to sleep. This to me is utter nonsense. It's this doesn't get better than the I think it's the second act where they're in the bar having fun and they're showing what they
That's a
are
good
doing
scene.
as vampire. Like that for me is the peak of this movie, and
Mhm.
nothing else reaches there to the point
Well-
where I can barely rewatch this film. So for me, this is either Keep It in the Crypt or a very, very low The Damned. That's where I would sneak this in.
But see, the cope would be this movie has a dream-like atmosphere. You know, that's what.
No.
You
No. Don't throw that shit out here.
No.
I'd settle
I
for
think
damned.
this movie is actually pretty dark. There's quite a bit of a dark storytelling, especially with the child vampire, which I know Let the Right One In does better, but I find it unnerving in certain scenes with it, especially when he's trying to turn the lead's sister into
Yeah,
it.
because it's something that they don't really comment on. It's more of the you as the viewer. It leaves it up to you to imagine what happened to this child vampire, and especially the situations that they live in. Because let's just say that if you were an actual vampire, like you would never be seen in public. Because especially if you're rich, you'd never be seen in public. You'd either have people do everything for you. You'd be isolated somewhere. Or you would live like the people in this movie, where it's just you're a bum on the street and you have to just go, no, don't do that, Nadja, no,
Yeah, it's fine.
no.
Well, like you were saying though, Tur, like this movie is kind of a metaphor for like, you know, it kind of humanizes you know, homeless people, and they're represented by these vampires, like just like, I don't know, lot lizard type characters that you just I don't know, normally don't really empathize with, but like kind of does a great job of kind of explaining what that kind of lifestyle's like. You know, living from motel, you know, living on the road basically for no reason because you're outcasts or drug addicts or whatever. It's like not a lifestyle by choice type thing.
I don't know. Oh, thanks, Vex. I don't know. Are memberships broken? I thought I saw them give out
No.
when I
Maybe
got
every-
on it.
Not on my end. I'm not seeing it in the chat go out to people.
Weird. Just yeah, because as my channel, I can give away like 5 free ones. Oh,
Okay.
It did not. You're right. Maybe it'll catch up.
Maybe.
Or maybe
yeah.
maybe I'm at capacity.
Maybe it's
knows?
because you gave them to your channel,
be.
so maybe that's the who knows.
Who knows? Maybe. I wonder though too, if you like hit everybody, what happens with somebody gifts again?
It'll go to other people that aren't watching. Sometimes I get emails all the time from Gina saying, "Oh,
I mean like the whole sub count. So say like your whole sub count is gifted memberships. And then somebody gifts again. That's what I'm curious about.
I think that
If it
happened
just-
to someone, and I think that's happened to Sassy actually.
Yeah, I wonder if because I wonder if it just gives you another month or anyway. I digress. GraphWeb for $2. For fuck's sake, cancel Disney Plus.
I'm not singing that. Sorry, GraphWeb.
With it, cancel
Cancel
Disney
Disney
Plus. That's as,
How about-
that's as best as I go.
I got one even better. I never got a Disney Plus subscription. How about that?
Hey, there we go. There we go.
Hey,
Everyone
I
knows
canceled
it.
mine finally because I'm switching phone companies. Hey,
You guys have subscriptions? That's
right? I
mine.
know.
You guys
Yeah.
pay
Okay.
for stuff on the internet?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm
I'm kidding.
all the super chats and memberships I'm getting and stuff, I'm saving that money to get myself a PC. So
Oh, nice.
that is
Yeah.
that's the next step. So I'm not touching
Honestly-
it until it's the equivalent amount.
If you're looking for something portable, I'd consider an MSI. I got one last year, and it's been working wonders for me in terms of editing and just playing games and stuff. So yeah, it's
Okay.
been really good.
Thank you, Vex, because I forgot you have
You're good. You're good. I got you.
Okay. All right. Is it Bite Me? Or is it The Damned Near Dark?
The Damned. The Damned.
The damned. I
What
will
do you-
settle
blue collar,
for the
blue
damned.
collar. What do you said?
I'll go with damned.
Okay.
Oh, blue.
I'm trying to be in the middle ground as I always do.
I think
If I
should
can't
be
put
top
it
of
in,
the
keep
list.
it in the crypt. I'm putting it in the Damned.
Is it before Retreat or after?
It's
Oh,
worse
man.
than Retreat for me.
It's a
All right,
better
well, on
movie,
that
but
note,
less
hold on.
rewatchable.
Hmm.
I'm just kidding.
Feel like cat.
Meow.
I'm keeping it in the front. All right. Okay. Next one. Right. It is because these are not in order. Give me 1 second. Here we go.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Spectacular, right?
Yeah.
I would have
For
to
all
say
ingredient?
spectacular,
Spectacular.
yeah.
Yep.
I-
Spectacular.
It set
Okay.
so many trends, not just in vampire
yeah.
movies, but like the
The,
Matrix.
in
ripped
the,
it
general.
off.
the opening scene alone, Christ, man.
You got a
Oh,
black
yeah.
superhero, before Black Panther, and
No,
but you know what's
before-
funny is I watched all three of them, and part three
Mm.
sucks, obviously, but part two I always thought was better. But after rewatching them, now I kind of lean more towards Blade One, because if it wasn't
Yeah.
for all the world building and all the exposition going on, that's why the second one could hit the ground running. But the second one is more of a comic book movie, whereas the first one definitely just it gives you just a little glimpses of the vampire world, that's like makes you use your imagination to kind of think what else is going on. Like all the Japanese dudes in the club with the little kids singing, that's weird and vampiric, and creepy. I love it.
Before Vex gets into the fact that this movie was her sexual awakening,
No.
I know
Call me out like that?
Whatever, you've said it before on streams and chat. Don't even lie. Graf, I completely forgot to play something for you. And in the vein of this,
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
by the way, that line was improvised by Wesley Snipes.
Of course it was.
We can tell.
Well,
we can definitely tell.
No, people can hate Deadpool 3, but the line was it's only ever going to be one
Bro,
blade.
Yeah, like when he showed up, dude, the audience freaked out, man.
Yeah, my audience did as well. Yeah.
Whoa!
I said, man,
I
I agree.
freaked out.
Yeah. The film's got issues, no doubt, but Snipes was the best. Fucking just seeing him again, man. Like,
Popping out in slow motion with the shades on. It's like, whoa.
Dude, the blood
All
rave,
right.
like that's one of the great like opening scenes of a movie,
Oh,
you know.
definitely.
Oh, it's so spot on, and it just like
Even
it hits.
just, like the action, the choreography for Blade is impeccable. It's really, really good. And it holds up today, which Blade holding up today, except for that clip that we showed, of course, with the CGI blood.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the worst part of the movie. But yeah, that's the only thing that doesn't
CGI
hold up.
doesn't bother me though. The movie is so well done that the CGI doesn't take me out of it.
Totally.
It's aged pretty hard.
And
By the way, oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I never read the description of it. No, in case nobody's ever seen this movie, which I know there might be some people out there. I feel for you, my brothers and sisters. A half vampire, half mortal man becomes a protector of a mortal race while slaying evil vampires. So
Yeah.
just to give you the premise of Blade, if you
And
haven't.
he looks cool doing it. Yep.
Yeah, Tracy Lords is great in the opening,
Yeah.
and also Udo Kier is like the head vampire guy. And
Yeah.
I typically like my vampires as kind of like solitary creatures, and I don't really like this like world of vampire stuff. But in Blade, like just like that big board meeting they have, and they all wear suits and they talk about like the humans will give us problems if you're too loud. We worked really hard to work. The idea that politicians and cops know about them and stuff. It's great, man.
One of the great things about the world building for Blade, it's one of the only vampire movies I can think of that doesn't like the vampires are still like menacing and threatening because like they're always threatening everyone, right? But it takes away the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the true nature aspect of it. So it's like vampires are just kind of like this really cool almost representation of like our darker desires and parts of our nature, but like all of them are just like they're just regular humans who just a little fucked up and drink blood. Like the only other thing I can think of that did that with vampires is like True Blood would be the closest because it's got those like levels of you've got the crazy vampires, you've got the ones that just want to be like vegan vampires and all this stuff. So yeah, I appreciate and like Blade 2, yeah, like you said, Enzo, it leads into the comic booky stuff a bit more, but then it tries to humanize them and show like a little bit more like there's good and bad to this world, and then I don't know what the fuck happened with Blade Trinity, man. That shit was ass.
Well, Blade 2 is cool because every character in that movie could be like the lead of his own movie, like each character is like so badass at his own point. But like I said, that's like the comic booky aspect of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hate 3. I didn't hate 3. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
cheesy for sure. It
is.
Was it Ryan Reynolds being shirtless? Is that what redeems it?
No, I don't find Ryan Reynolds attractive. I think he's annoying. I don't like him. So.
Oh, I love how Dracula's back. He's like, please call me Drake. It's cooler that way. Like, oh,
So
God.
Thanks, Strider Hell's Rider. Queen Nadja's
Also, I love the tagline where for Blade says, it's like all of our strengths, none of our weaknesses. And it's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
It's like that's and like Vex would say some people back in the day were pissed off, like, oh, he's kind of like dispatching the vampires too easily. No, number one, he's just as powerful as them. Number two, he's been training since a fucking teenager, and he's not doing barehanded. He's got a whole arsenal of weapons behind him. He's not walking in dropping 30 vampires with his bare hands. There's a reason he's got swords and guns. And so yeah, this isn't a guy that's like, this is not his first rodeo. He's been doing this shit a long time.
Dude, Blade's sword is so awesome. His guns are they're just like those little Uzis with like a big attachment to it. But his sword's so cool. And yeah, that's a great part too. Like a Donald Logue, I think doesn't get enough credit. But kind of like Vex was saying, like the vampires just seem more like mobsters or a gang, you know, like they're just criminals, you know. That's kind of like the idea that there's probably good vampires in the world of Blade, you know. But I love when Donald Logue, you know, gets his hand cut off, Donald Logue, and then later he comes back. He's like, "Don't worry, man, I got a new one." His hand's all
Right.
people looking like it just it shows you they regenerate and they're vampires, you know.
Yeah. When I rewatched this, I actually rewatched all three. When I rewatched this, I was like, man, I really can't see them rebooting this or remaking this with
Agreed.
anybody else.
They just
Especially
can't,
the
it's
route
so
they were
iconic.
gonna take. Because I believe who they casted didn't want to do like action physical things. They wanted to be more like a drama. You can't do without.
Wait, Mahershala Ali didn't want to do action?
He didn't want to make it as physical as the original Blade movies were, where it was martial arts.
That was him?
Yes, he refused to do it. So
That's
yeah.
whack.
Yeah. That's why they were trying to aim more towards like writing it as like a drama thriller, a little bit more focused maybe on Blade's daughter. I believe.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know what? This is gonna hit. Like, there's gonna be like some Blade news is gonna come out, and then the YouTube AI. Hollywood. Listen, I'm a woman. I'm brown. I'm sometimes gay if you put enough drinks in me. I check so many boxes. Let me come and make a Blade script for you, man. Let me do it.
Who could
Caster is
you
Blade.
cast?
Cast
though?
Vex.
At this,
I would cast. I cast an unknown. I cast a
I
full
would too.
unknown.
Dude, he
There's
doesn't
no
even
one
be
to-
big, black, and
they-
scary. You know how many guys
They have
fit
to
that
have-
description?
they have to have martial arts experience in some way. They have to
Yeah.
have like
Well,
yeah.
they
have
can
to be-
learn, you know.
Oh. Go ahead.
Like-
No.
No, I was just saying that they can learn because I mean Keanu learned for the
Yeah.
Matrix and
True.
stuff, you know.
You could have like a background dancer in music videos, and he could pull off that choreography. You know?
Yeah.
But that's the
Because,
thing
like-
about Blade is, you know, most humans who hunt vampires, you gotta fight them in the daytime because like fighting a vampire at night is suicide. Blade's one of the only guys who will take vampires on at full force in the night, you know, which is why he's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
Well, moving on to Vex's favorite movie of 2024, I would assume. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Wood. Oh my god. Wood. Oh my god. Okay.
I mean, wood is the word, man. Like, yeah, he's.
I'm
putting a lot of
awake
wood
now.
there.
I'm awake now. Okay.
S tier, I assume suckatacular for everyone.
Bite me,
or no?
ooh, for
Anybody
me.
arguing?
No,
I
I would
would
say
like-
Ooh, ooh, what?
Yep.
No, it would be higher than suckatacular.
No, for
Wait,
me, it's
wait.
bite me. Ooh, ooh.
yeah. he's
Explain
kinda-
yourself.
All right, wait, hold on. Explain yourself why it is bite me ooh.
I mean, for me, so we can go into spoilers for Nosferatu, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a 100-year-old
so-
movie.
I really like the movie until we get to right after the last voyage of the Demeter part. So sort of when Count Orlok actually arrives to where they are, and it just falls apart where it's like, I'm coming back in 3 days. To me, I don't know. I genuinely can't put words on it as to why it made me feel that way. And I said this to Vex last time. I don't know if it was because I was tired that I went to see it at the cinema or something like that, but I just could not wait for the movie to end. I felt like the pacing sort of broke for me in that third act until the very, very last, I would say, 5 minutes. I do really enjoy the conclusion for sure, but I just want to say, you know, I don't know. For me, it's just the pacing mostly that was broken during the third act. That's the most lackluster part for me. However, I do think that it's probably the best directed film of last year, for sure. and I do think that visually it's fantastic. So it's a very, very high bite me ooh woo, but I just can't put it in spectacular.
You know what? Uninspired, I can actually get, like, objectively, I can understand where you're coming from with the third act. I think that puts off a lot of people, because especially when you compare it to the other two Nosferatu adaptations, which seem to... Ellen's just kind of like a byproduct of it all instead of a focal point. So I guess, like, introducing that new kind of plot turn, I can understand why it'd be... I don't know. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. I put it on the same playing field as the original Nosferatu, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I love this movie, dude. I've watched this movie 16 times now. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so it was mostly for research. Research.
Really?
Yeah.
It's,
When is,
it's February 1st? Where's that video, bro? Where's that?
Life caught up with me. It's coming though. It's coming.
Yeah, I would put it in spectacular because, you know, rewatching it definitely is pretty slow and quite reserved, especially when you think about it as like a follow-up to the Northman, and also like the fact that this is like his big dream project. But like I said before on the Nosferatu stream we did here around Christmas, that this movie definitely did not live up to the hype, but I still liked it a lot. And, you know, not just as a vampire film, but as a movie, just it's really good. You know, it's fun. It's and like I said, the TikTok generation might not like it, but it had some fresh takes on the lore, you know.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Mustache vampire grew on me.
Gourd for $2. Near Dark, Suckatacular, Gourd Tears. I knew this was going to come in. For you,
You suck,
Gourd.
Gourd.
Yeah,
suck,
No,
Gord.
you don't, Gourd. I agree with you, Gourd. Here you go.
It's finger licking good.
So it has been moved up. Nosferatu, I think it should be spectacular. I really enjoyed this movie. When I went to theaters, I saw it in standard, and it was good. I was blown away by it. When I went to go see it in Dolby, though, to see the crispness of the cinematography, the costume design, how everything was trying to be practical as possible. I love the story, the themes of it. So to me, it's a spectacular because I think it's on par with Blade.
Hold on.
No,
I gotta address this. Gourd, go gorge yourself. All right. I'm making pumpkin spice out of that ass this fall. I hope you know that. Sorry, continue.
but
Here's my husband. Nos was boring. My problem, I didn't feel fresh at all. Felt 100 years old in the worst way.
That's what makes it feel fresh nowadays. The fact that it is slow and reserved is like, oh, okay, all right.
It
Old
does
is new.
feel very much like a silent film in many many respects, which I appreciated.
All right, where's it going, guys? Where's it going?
I can agree with
Spectacular.
spectacular for you guys.
Before Blade or after Blade?
I can't pick.
I'd say after Blade.
I'd say after.
Yeah, I'd have to
Okay.
say after Blade too, just
I mean,
because
in terms
this
of rewatchability.
for this year is a great movie.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But and when you compare it to all the vampire movies, it's up there. But Blade is pretty.
There's a lot of more rewatchability with Blade, but I would never compare those two otherwise because they're two very different types of vampire films. Can I address this chat?
Yes.
It's Dracula book accurate, Jacob, because Nosferatu is an unlicensed adaptation of Dracula.
Yep.
Because I keep seeing people complain about that mustache. It's a Dracula movie. It's Dracula book accurate.
But you know, that's the thing is like Dracula, Gary Oldman had a mustache, and then also Christopher Lee had a mustache a couple times. You know, big porn
Bring the
stars, you know.
mustache in. Yeah. Bring it
It's-
back.
I guess the difference is like those adaptations of Dracula made him a romantic figure, and they definitely made him look way better than he does in the novel. Whereas this one, yeah, it takes from a lot of the Romanian folklore, like in Eastern European folklore. But if you read the description of Dracula in, was it like the second chapter of the novel, aside from the mustache and hair being white, it's like 1-for-1 a Dracula. Like it's Dracula that Robert Eggers put on screen. Even the early drafts of the drawings, the concept drawings, it's just Dracula, man.
I thought he looks more like Vlad the Impaler to me.
Yeah.
The
Well,
mustache.
he's also going for the Romanian nobleman kind of look, right? But it's one in the same, essentially.
Yeah, I thought that haircut was like he's bald, just like from necrosis on the left side of his head, but it's actually that's actually the hairstyle they had.
Yep.
There you go.
They were doing
All
this
right,
big
Jacob.
thing.
I take it back then, Jacob. But also go watch Nosferatu. I think you, especially Jacob, would actually enjoy it because it is up your alley in terms of the types of films that you usually like to review and critique. So
I am also actually a fan of the its treatment of vampires, because I am a big fan of vampires actually being vampiric in terms of being animalistic, that type of nature where they're purely they just can't control themselves. I'm not a huge fan of societal vampires, but this is where Nosferatu just brought me in once you saw Count Orlok, because he was terrifying, he was menacing, and the way that it manages to capture it manages to capture what a dream feels like, which is something that I haven't seen in a movie in a very long time.
That's a good point.
Otherworldly,
Yep.
Like I love all that stuff with what's his name, tall guy. He's like getting
Nicholas
like,
Hoult.
there you go. The shadows like on one side of the door telling him to open it because he's on the other side of the door, or that dreamlike he's like blacking out when he gets to the castle, like he's just
once he arrives at the
door.
castle. Yep, exactly. That's the stuff that I was like, oh yeah, this is really pulling me in the same way that it's pulling Nicholas Hoult into the castle.
Yeah, like the shadow makes him open the door, then he opens the door, then suddenly he's in his bed, and then the vampire's like over him. It's like it's like you don't remember how it happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and then man, it makes me remember the scene where they're in front of the fireplace where he's sucking on the blood and like the sound is out and all you hear is just
he's just grinding on him.
He's just like
great.
him.
By the way, has anyone watched the extended version yet?
No.
I'm still waiting for my steelbook. Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't wait, so I bought a digital copy anyways. But in the extended version, I really couldn't wait. But in the extended version, that first scene between Hutter and Orlok at the table in the castle, the conversation is longer, and you hear Orlok laugh.
Oh,
and it's creepy. It's a cool kind of creepy. So
I agree. I can't wait for his werewolf movie. I cannot wait.
Me neither.
Man, I hope it's if it's gonna be like that, maybe something in the vein of like Brotherhood of the Wolf, something to that historically correct. I'm so excited for it. All right. Moving on, we'll talk. By the way, we're going to move on to the other Nosferatu, but Nosferatu is a vampire. Count Orlok expresses interest in a new residence and real estate agent Hutter's wife. Speaking of which, we'll talk about the other Nosferatu. Here we go.
Nosferatu!
Sucktacular for me.
Yeah, Sucktacular. This is my favorite movie of all time. So this is before Blade.
Damn.
Interesting.
I think it's
Blue.
a huge influence. You just can't deny it.
Spectacular. Enzo?
Yeah, I mean, not just for vampire movies, but just, it's crazy that one of the first big movies ever just happened to be, a Dracula film, Dracula ripoff. But it's just got to go up there with the greats.
My husband hated fucking Nosferatu. He's like, I can understand why people like it, but it's not for me, and it's just boring. He X'd out the idea because I was gonna buy the stand, the 6 foot Count Orlok cutout, and he's like, absolutely not. Like, why?
This belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
My husband doesn't know it's on the way to our house right now. I brought it up to him. I sent him the link. He didn't say anything, so I gave him an out. You
know what? I should do that because Chris doesn't look at some of my text messages when I send him stuff. I should do that from now on.
If I send him send it to him right when he's waking up because he'll just look at it and be like, what? Whatever. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah.
No. Throughout the day, I'll send him stuff. He doesn't look at it unless it's like an important message, like I highlight it. So like maybe from now on, I just send him the link to stuff. I know you're listening. And if he doesn't respond with like a down or up, I get it. And he just doesn't, there's not a naked one, no.
I wish, Jacob.
I'm sure somebody's made one.
Right. I wanted it to be the full Bill Skarsgård underneath it all, but
So I'm sure someone's made a proper functioning Nosferatu cutout. Don't worry about that.
I was gonna say someone's eventually gonna make one of those model replica figures of naked Nosferatu standing over his grave, over his tombstone. I'm sorry, his coffin. Whatever.
Is the 79 version on this list as well?
No, just a 1922. Otherwise, yeah. I realize a couple of movies are missing, such as Underworld. There's a ton of them, but that's okay. We'll have another vampire.
Do a part 2, yeah.
Yeah. Original horror movies are usually the best version. Is it me or is just being too retro old school?
I mean, actually, the remakes are probably what people know. For example, The Thing is a remake from The Thing from Another World. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the version from the 70s, a remake from the 50s. The Blob also as well. The ones the ones that people are usually very familiar with that have had their stamp in history in terms of horror that are still old because they came in the 70s and 80s. They're all remakes. So I do think that,
The Fly.
Horror, the Fly as well. It's not necessarily a original horror movie being the best. I think it's just sometimes they reinvent the wheel so well that the remake is what becomes what people consider the original.
Well, especially with horror, because you try to remake classics like the Maltese Falcon or something, that doesn't work. But horror works because horror movies were so reserved back then, and now in the 80s we could show gore and boobs and go crazy.
I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. I know the next one. Hold on one second. Hold on. Keep talking amongst yourselves about Nosferatu.
Blah blah blah. Nosferatu. Blah blah blah. Count Orlok. Blah blah blah.
Jacob's asking if there was Blacula on this list. I thought it was. I did watch two of them, but okay.
It is.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Cannoli, go fuck yourself. No vampire representation for February. There is not only Blacula. There's also Vampire in Brooklyn as well.
Yeah, it's the main reason why we put Blade in the spectacular version. We had
Blade's in here. Yeah.
Cannoli forgot the Blade was black for.
It's all right. He's just upset that he's going to be covering Twilight this whole month. That's why.
I'm going to be.
It was his recommendation. He can't be upset about it.
Yeah.
All right. There's a ton of representation in this. Okay. Queen of the Dam as well. So, all right, moving on. We're going to talk about this movie. Nadja. This was actually recommended by Adam. So the ultra hip postmodern vampire tale is set in a New York City. Members of a dysfunctional family of vampires are trying to come to terms with each other in the wake of their father's death. Meanwhile, they are being hunted by Dr. Van Helsing, hapless nephew, and all in good vampire movie Forced to Love. It pits against force of destruction. I hated this fucking movie. I'm sorry. Hold on. I got a clip.
How did you know about that?
I'm a relative.
All right. I didn't hate this movie. Let me correct myself.
Yeah.
I was bored with it. And the great David Lynch in it. R.I.P.
It's produced by David Lynch, but it's a classic. There was this wave of 90s independent New York movies. And there's another one like on this list that's very similar to this one. What was it? The Addiction. But Nadja, it's just there was just Clerks, the Jim Jarmusch vibe, and it was like this there was this kind of people were trying new things with independent films and low budget movies, and this is an interesting one because it's pretty boring, it's pretty weird. But it's all about family ties. It's one of those it's one of those metaphorical films. It's more about relationships with your estranged relatives and stuff, and a lot of angst, a lot of lesbian angst. Or am I thinking of? No, wait, I'm thinking of The Addiction with that one. Sorry, a lot of angst though, a lot of depression. That's the other thing that was going on with the '90s independent cinema, very cynical. And just very gritty.
It's weird because I feel like A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is sort of what Nadja was supposed to be.
True.
I feel like it's a much better version of Nadja because Nadja, I agree with you guys. I think it's just I kind of got bored with it. That's my main complaint. And to me, a movie can be bad. I'll allow a movie to be bad, but if I get bored with a movie, that's where I just draw the line because it feels like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
And so this was one that actually bored me. It's just like,
The
All right.
appeal for this movie is all the Richard Linklater kind of style, like philosophical musings that the characters are having, in the dialogue. But once you've seen it, you've seen it.
Yeah, it's not something that I'd go back to.
Where is the poster? Wait.
It's the second to the last one, Nadja.
Oh, thank
Yep.
you. I don't know why I was okay. I think it's Keep It in the Crypt. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Adam.
I
If you
agree.
watch this replay, I know you recommended this movie, but I like.
I'd seen it
No.
before.
You have? Wow. Well,
think
yeah.
there's-
And so you've seen a lot of weird.
There was
movies.
only 2 movies on this list I had, like 3 movies I had never seen. And I think
Same
a couple
for
of them
me.
were. I did watch other stuff that wasn't on the list. That could be some. I never saw Blacula 2. There's a couple of other ones, but yeah. I remember seeing this one on like an independent film channel as a high schooler, just like baked out of my mind, being like, "What?"
Vex, did you see it?
Nope, I didn't. I didn't get to round to everything on this list, unfortunately.
Okay.
Boo.
Yes, Crypt is good for me.
Keep It in the Crypt. Is okay. Is Life Force on the list? I haven't seen it, but I heard it's good.
No, next time.
Next time. I keep these lists so that when we go back to do the same genre, I can like cross-reference to make sure we didn't do the same movie. All right, so I think this one might be a bit of a discussion because to me this is a spectacular movie. And
Spectacular.
I fucking love this
Spectacular.
movie. Yes.
Spectacular. 100% spectacular.
John Carpenter's Vampires. Most people don't know that this movie exists, but yes, the recovery from an ambush that killed his entire team. A vengeful vampire slayer must retrieve an ancient Catholic relic that should be acquired by vampires. Will allow them to walk in the sunlight. Has James motherfucking Wood. I
Yep.
fucking love this movie. I
It
know
is
it's
great.
cheesy. It's fantastic. Any disagreement on spectacular to this?
Yeah, I mean, I could settle for Bite Me, but Spectacular is great because James Wood's dialogue is awesome, but also it's got that John Carpenter desert vibe, kind of similar to Sundown, but it is John Carpenter, and above all, like it really does a great job of just showing you how dangerous like a master vampire could be if he wanted to be, and also played by Terry Silver from Karate Kid 3, It's a whole lot of cheese in the right places.
Even the Baldwin brother, I don't know what is
yeah.
Even the Baldwin brother was even he was great in this one. I was like, man, this is pretty good.
Not a murderer,
He keeps
allegedly.
getting bit and like burning himself. Like remember when he fires the machine gun and puts it on his neck? It's so stupid. I love it.
It's weird. One of the most scenes that stand out to me is when the vampire is going to bite that chick and he doesn't bite her on the neck, he bites her on the vein of her crotch.
Yes.
That's hot.
Yeah. Have you never seen this, Vex? I feel like
Hot
you
take.
have.
I have not seen this. I should have
No.
seen
Dude,
this.
you're
but I haven't.
missing out. You're
You're
genuinely
missing
missing out.
Yeah.
You would love this movie.
We actually did
Vex.
a
You would
rewatch
actually
on
love
my
it.
channel, and our buddy Lord Talks. He was comparing us to the book and just saying how much he was praising how good this film is compared to the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
there's
gonna
a
write
book?
it down to watch
Yeah.
this week. Okay, I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, now
would like-
next time we have
It's-
Toxic on, talking about the book version. He
Okay.
loves this adaptation.
Yeah, the book focuses mostly like the idea is like it's kind of like Ghostbusters, like they're an exterminator business for vampires, but they're like financed by the Catholic Church and they have like connections,
And there's actual stakes. That's what's good. It feels campy, but there are actual stakes. And it's once
Stakes.
the stakes. Yeah. I mean, once the movie starts and they have the first raid and you see what's going on and how they actually dispatch the vampires,
Yeah.
you sit down and you realize, okay, they've actually put a ton of effort in this movie and it's gonna look badass, and they go all the way with it. It's really, really solid.
But
If
I
you
just
haven't
love-
seen it, definitely recommend.
Yeah, and I love how
Okay.
they've got this like matter of factness about everything. Like they're like plumbers going in to fix a leak. Like, all right, we're gonna get these vampires out. Just be alert, Look, these guys are
Yeah.
assholes. They keep calling them suckheads or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
I will tell you, Vex, this probably will be on the list for the next tier. So just
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you've got some time. Yeah. I put it behind Nosferatu 2024 before Near Dark. To me, the spectacular list is just like all of these are great. So I don't really worry about the lineup. The only thing I do is just anybody who moves something, I will put that towards the end of it. like Near Dark. Sorry, Gord. So, I'm sure Vex is not sorry about it, but I am sorry about it. Okay.
If I pay you $2, can I move it to keep it in the crypt?
Nope. We're
No.
once moved, it sticks where it is.
That's not fair. Hold on. What?
It's rigged.
Yeah, this is rigged.
It's for the and also it's for the chat because you're on the panel. So
But I'm in the chat. I'm talking in the chat as well.
nope. Well, it depends.
On.
Is it going to affect my clips?
Yes, Black Mirror Rex.
It might. Maybe my hourly rate just went up.
The price is just changing. Inflation's a bitch, you know.
Yeah.
I put it at the end of the list. I put it at the end. My money is going to waste. Would be unfair, you tyrant. This isn't Canada. Gord's got a good point. I'm looking for the other clip that's for our next movie. I am sorry, guys. While I look through, where is it?
And the bitch is a little.
There it is. Okay. All right. I gotta find it. Ready? Okay, let's go.
Shut your fucking mouth. Shut up. Hey, man, you can't do that shit. I'm driving, B. Shut the fuck up. Shit, I'm driving.
That was another thing that I had logged into my memory as a child was him right after that being like, God damn it. And he breaks the mirror, you know? It's just silly.
I saw this movie way too young. I like it. I don't think it ages well,
No.
but it's still fun. It's still fun.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
It's definitely, I think,
that
damn.
gold dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it
Yeah.
with Sundown. I put it with the Damned.
Same.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
It's Eddie Murphy, like one of the only time he's played a villain, or definitely the first time he played a villain. Also, the second time, I was shocked about this. Like, this is before the Nutty Professor, but this was only the second time that he was getting made up to play multiple parts, you know, with all the makeup from, I think it's Rick Baker or somebody. Rick Baker did all the Nutty Professor stuff, but yeah, like that was interesting. And also just like, it is pretty funny. And it's, it's one of those urban 90s, Russell Simmons style movies. I don't think Russell Simmons actually had anything to do with it, but yeah, it's just it's got a sense of humor. Written by Charlie Murphy.
Sonja Davis, Angela Bassett's stunt double, actually died in an accident on set.
true.
during
Jesus, huh?
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Oh, by the way, I should have read this. Caribbean vampire seduces a Brooklyn police officer who has no idea she is half vampire.
Spoilers.
Sorry. Spoilers. Sorry.
It's only 40
Sorry.
years old. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and directed by Wes Craven, like Jim said. I forgot to say that. Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
bonus points for that.
Yeah. Oh, Wes.
Yeah.
R.I.P. If he could only see where Scream is the announcements for Scream this past few weeks.
Oh my God.
It's genuinely just it's making me sick to my stomach, honestly.
I'm so next. My Horror Tuesday next week is like the celebration one, and I can't wait till the following week just to talk about Scream because there's more news coming out that Billy's coming back, and I'm just like,
Of course.
they're just throwing everything to it.
I heard that it's sort of a
doesn't count, Blue. I'm sorry. Doesn't count. You're on the panel. Oh, sorry, man. One's done, but you can move another movie if you want to.
Man, I heard that I heard a theory that they should do that Scream 7. The reason why they're bringing back everyone is because they want to go super meta, like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, where it's like the actors coming back to play the actors, and where someone maybe like a ghost face in real life is.
That would be cool if all these actors are getting murdered.
Yeah, that would actually be decent because they would actually make New Nightmare a better movie. So that,
Nadja said something that made me worried was like maybe there'll be flashback scenes and they'll be like de-aged somehow as teenagers.
Yeah, they might do. So there's a couple theories that they're going to do flashback scenes to when Sydney's mother was killed with the two. Or what they were going to do was what I think the original second or third script was, where Stu actually had survived a television falling on his head and was in prison and escaped and was the new Ghostface. So Scream doesn't suck. Thank you. This is a Scream channel. You suck, Bex.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Scream is one of my favorite slasher franchises.
It
It's
is-
probably my
Dude,
favorite
look
slasher
behind me.
franchise.
Look, I
Yeah.
got two of them right there. Like,
Scream still
is the-
sucks. Sorry, guys.
Scream is
Sorry.
golden.
First
Whatever.
one's good. The other one's not so
Ooh.
bad.
Ghostface bottom tier horror icon. What's that? What's that?
Well, it is disappointing when you find out, like, when you have Ghostface up with like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, it's like Ghostface is just like a collection of like high schoolers and college kids.
It's a regular dude. Yeah, it's an actual just regular dude.
You think
But that's what
Ghostface is
that-
gonna stand up next to for Jason?
So I actually think, and timestamp this, I think this is what's going to happen. They're actually going to do the script that they originally wanted to do, where they brought Stu back as the Ghostface. And the reason why Billy is casted is similar to, I think it was the last one where he was like a ghost to his daughter.
Oh,
He's just going to
okay.
be like an entity or something. That's what my theory is on it. So
There are Force ghosts in the new Scream movies?
Yes,
Yeah.
Billy comes back as a Force.
I didn't
Force
know that.
ghost. But 56. Thank you, Bex. On that note, moving on to the next movie. Here we go. I had to block the titty out for that one. I
That was a little
think
titty.
it's
It
the
could have
girls.
snuck past the censors.
I didn't know if it could, because it's like like you
No,
can
I'm
barely kind
joking.
of make it out, but that nipple's just like very predominant. So I was like, that's not gonna work. So this is 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula. A century-old vampire, Count Dracula, comes to England to seduce John Harker's fiancée, Mina Murray, and inflict havoc on a foreign land. Fucking suckatacular. I don't fucking care. It's my stream.
Dang, it's just
Spectacular.
rigged against us all. Like we can't buy anything, we
Democracy
can't
is
vote.
dead.
Yeah, like, what
Jesus,
the?
man. Foreigners?
Anyway, I think it's suckatacular, but please make your arguments.
Who wants to go first?
You.
Oh, okay. This movie is The Damned. Okay. Here's the deal. Okay. The
No.
Oh, the Canadian internet,
right, Trudeau got me. I do like the vibe of this movie. I think the set
Yeah.
design, the costume design
up.
is really awesome.
Mm.
Oh.
Bex, 1 second. For this comment, you get to move near dark. Where would you like me to put it?
Oh, seriously? Are you serious?
Gorgeous fucked himself over.
No, but Gord's on my side now, so I can't do him dirty like that. I
Okay.
can't do him
him.
dirty like
Try
that
that
now.
pumpkin.
So this is the truce for us.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the vibe is really good for this film. I'll give it that. It manages to capture like that gothic tone and aesthetic really well. But the acting is absolutely dreadful. It is terrible. Gary Oldman brings it because Gary Oldman's the fucking goat. Like, it doesn't matter what he's in, he's awesome in it. But this isn't really a Dracula film. Dracula isn't scary. He's just some sympathetic, like, evil warlord who is evil, but we don't know why he's evil. But we're supposed to fear him, but we're also supposed to fuck him. Just doesn't make any sense. I think the pacing is pretty awful in this film as well. It's very slow. Like, every time I used to like this film a lot, okay? And then I watched it again a few years ago as, a woman in her 30s, and I was like, no, I can't do this. I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore.
I can.
So
Would.
it's
100%.
teenage me loved it. Mature me does not love it. It's there's things I can appreciate, but script, acting, pacing, it's all just terrible. So I'm gonna keep it in The Damned. It's not The Crypt, but it's The Damned.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd settle for
Alright.
Bite Me because I mean it's a weird movie for sure. It's a weird. Francis Ford Coppola was making some very interesting creative choices, and for every great performance we get, there's like a pretty weird strange one. But Monica Bellucci's titties. So I mean that was the first time we all saw this Monica Bellucci lady, and we're like, who is this woman? Dracula's head bride. But yeah, I think that's the thing about these vampire movies is most of these on this list, especially, are either metaphors for addiction of some kind or adultery. And this seems to be one of the adulterous ones. It definitely is, and it's just it's a weird, strange movie that kind of just the way it ends also is very just kind of, it's like the movie takes its time, but then it just rushes the end and it just gets really weird. And when it tries to get bombastic, it has like these stage play vibes, which I guess is what they were going for. But it's just a weird 90s movie. But yeah, it's definitely great. It's one of the better vampire movies, but as a movie in general, it's it's pretty mid compared to all films, not just vampire films.
Thank you, Enzo. Thank you for being a voice of reason.
I'm sort of with Enzo and Vex on
It's a
this.
great vampire
It does
movie.
have some really, really cool shots. It captures the vibe perfectly. But I don't know if I would put it in a high The Damned or a very low Bite Me Ooh Woo. I can't really
I'm with
decide.
you on this part, yeah. Because like
I
Vex
think it's
said,
a bite me.
Gary Oldman's performance, he's so fucking good, and the makeup job
Yep.
is excellent. The practical effects, but like everyone said with the acting, boy, but we all love Keanu. He's John Wick, he's Neo, but that accent.
He can't act in this.
Yeah.
It-
Well, my
have
favorite
you
part
guys-
of the movie is the Lucy scene, killing Lucy in her grave. That's the most vampiric part of the movie,
That's the most Dracula part of the whole
Yeah,
movie.
right,
this
right,
isn't
right.
even that's the only
Yeah.
scene that actually feels like it's a Dracula movie. The rest
Have
of it
you-
is just some weird like goth porn, to be honest.
That it's an ooh. Have you guys ever seen the Japanese poster for this movie?
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's so cool, actually.
It's cooler than the movie.
Like,
Yeah.
Huge. I want a huge one for behind me, like on my wall. Like I love it. It's what.
Yeah, that's cool as fuck. That is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. So it is a spectacular movie for me. However, I can understand everybody's arguments and respect it, but I will say I think it's better than The Damned. What's in The Damned? So I would settle with a Bite Me Ooh-ee.
I will put it at the top of The
Ooh.
Damned. How about that?
No.
Fine. How about
Bite me.
this? If it goes in the Bite Me Ooh Ooh, it has to stay at the very end, no matter what else goes in there.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yikes.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
All right. That's fair. Okay.
Fair. I'm not using any power today because the next tier is my birthday stream. So so don't worry. Don't worry. Besides, it belongs there. It's a sexy movie. It's a sexy movie, all right? All right. I like it. All right. I can turn my brain off and just be like, yeah. That's about it. I don't know what. All right, let's see. Next clip. Remind me next time when I do this to have them in.
Dispense with you now, Doctor. But I have a rather urgent appointment elsewhere.
Dude, this is spectacular. This is like this is race swapping done
Yes.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Spectacular.
For those that don't know, this is Blacula cannoli. 1972, an 18th century African prince turned into a vampire by Dracula finds himself in a modern day Los Angeles. So yes, I agree. I think it is definitely a spectacular. Does anybody disagree with that?
I mean, I would go with Damned because Blacula is so
Ooh.
bad it's
Big
good.
Enzo.
But here's the
Enzo.
thing. Blacula
You
Scream
can.
Blacula Scream is better than the first Blacula. It is better because we've got Pam Grier and we've got
See
this,
Gord
this
King?
voodoo stuff going on. But it doesn't really make sense how Blacula shows up in the sequel. But oh my god.
You piece of shit.
Not this month, Gord. Out of all months, Jesus. Nadia, instead of ooh, Nadia says.
I'm sorry, I was trying to bring it up too. Ooh wee.
Oh wee.
All right, okay. Sorry,
That's
go ahead.
to add.
No, but I mean, if you guys put it in Spectacular, I totally get it. It's a dang classic, and if you want to put Blacula 1 and 2 as like one movie, like it's definitely something
Yeah.
that needs to be seen. What would you guys think if this was just called Dracula, and it was just had a black dude playing Dracula? I mean, that's
Yeah.
worse, right?
Best race swap ever.
It's just such a. I remember thinking as a little kid how silly it was when the guy's turning the dude into a vampire and he's like, "From now on, you will be called Blacula," and it's just like, really? That's the name you're gonna give me, dude? Okay, it's a little on the nose.
It
Gord,
works,
you're-
man.
It
It works.
rhymes.
All right, next up is Mel Brooks' parody of a classic vampire story and its famous film adaptations. I just had the where did
Dracula,
Dracula dead and loving it.
Sucktacular.
The best part is
Spectacular?
when him and Van Helsing, Mel Brooks are going back and forth. Who's gonna get the last word in?
Yeah,
It holds up.
Yeah,
I remember seeing
remember.
this as a kid.
I remember thinking it wasn't that funny as a kid, and rewatching it just a few months ago, it was like this movie is hilarious.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
Is it before Blacula, vampires, Nosferatu? Where is it going?
I would say I think it's before Blacula. I would put it a smidge before Blacula.
See, I was still going for The Damned for this one because it's enjoyable, bad schlock, but it's it's good. But I mean,
definitely bite me.
Yeah, The Damned is what I was thinking was like so bad it's good kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's always a problem with comedies because obviously comedy is subjective. So that's you can't rate the film on its cinematography or excellent script because it's a comedy. So how do you rate comedies?
I don't know if you've noticed this, Blue Collar. You haven't been on Nielsen ratings a lot, but I realized recently that Lance hates this movie, so I'm making it a point to bring it up as much as possible.
Why?
Why?
I don't know. It's just one of those things where I mentioned it in passing. He's like, "Oh, mate, that movie's awful," Oh, and then I brought it up again.
Lance doesn't like fun. That's his fucking problem.
That's always a problem with comedy.
He's British. That's
comedy, I think, is the hardest art for anybody to really rate because, again, you can say Nosferatu, CGI, acting, special effects, but comedy. The problem with jokes is everybody has a different sense of humor.
The funniest scene for me in this movie is when Steven Weber is going to put the stake in Lucy's heart. Yep. And he gets sprayed with that blood, and the actor doesn't realize how bad he's gonna get covered. His reaction's just so like, oh, okay, I see how it. All right.
Really, some people, because Leslie Nielsen's obviously Dracula. Oh, I can't go back and watch Naked Gun. Why? Well, O.J. Simpson's in it. Well, that had nothing to do with that movie, though. I mean, so if people get biased with that stuff with comedies.
You heard they're remaking The Naked Gun.
Yeah, with Liam Neeson.
With Liam Neeson.
Seth MacFarlane is going to be taking the helm, I think. And Liam Neeson is so good at deadpan that it actually might be funny.
Yep. Yeah, he was great in A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Enzo, there's potential there. Yeah.
All right, moving on.
I think it's definitely bite me. Yeah.
All right, bite me. You know what? No, we're gonna give it top tier. All these movies are going to suck.
Yeah, they're all going to suck. Like 5 of them.
All right, next
4
one.
years old. People think I'm crazy when I tell them how old I am. I'd like to be normal. I just
watched this today for the first time.
Right, yeah, 1977's George Romero's Martin, a young man who believes himself to be a vampire, goes to live with his elderly and hostile cousin in a small Pennsylvania town when he tries to suppress his bloodlust. I did not get a chance to see this.
Oh. Yeah, this is 1972, right? Or is it later than that?
77.
77. Yeah.
Before or after Dawn of the Dead? This is after?
So this is a year before.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, George Romero made it, so it's got to get bonus points for that. But yeah, it's just a boring movie about an incel going through, kind of a metaphor of like puberty or sexual awakening. And it's also got creep vibes in it, like Martin is a creep,
Yes, he is.
He's but to be fair, Blue Collar, you watched this movie this morning while driving a bus on a cell phone.
And so, I almost fell asleep twice.
Yeah, while driving a bus.
Yes.
Don't forward this to the New York City transportation people, but yeah.
Oh boy.
So where would you put this movie, Blue?
I'm putting it in the crypt for me.
Honestly, keep it in the crypt. Keep it in the crypt.
Boring.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
really
before Nadja or after?
After. You'd have to give it. You have to give it credit for, like I said, George Romero, but there were plenty of other like low budget indie films on this list that are just way better. And the messaging is just, I can't condone the message of this film.
I'm sorry. It's like it was free on YouTube, and I feel like I'm owed a refund.
The other thing is the editing of this film. The editing of this film, like from scene to scene, is like jarring and strange, and the connection. There's like lack of connectivity between the the timeline here. Just kind of jumps,
the pacing itself is
very
just
jarring.
horrendous.
Yeah.
He keeps choking women, trying to put them to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Random women. What the?
Yeah. Spoilers, but I'm not gonna watch it. So right.
Don't.
Honestly, don't.
Lock
I don't recommend it. Yeah, keep it locked for sure.
All right, next one on the list.
Look at me.
Salem's Lot, 1979, which was technically a miniseries, but you can watch it now as a 3-hour movie. A novelist and a young horror fan attempts to save a New England town which has been invaded by vampires, based off a Stephen King book. I really love this movie, but I don't think it's a sucktacular. I would say it's a bite me at most, or I think it's good. The remake, Enzo, you were on that stream, is ass. So don't watch the remake.
Both the remakes are terrible, especially even the Rob Lowe one. But what's crazy is the new one, I think,
Rob
is worse
Lowe's
than the
better.
Rob Lowe one. Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Lowe's the Rob Lowe one is better than the recent one that came out last year, though.
Totally.
At least. Yeah. So I would say bite me. Any objections?
No, not from me. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I'm okay with bite me. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Mr. Barlow in this version. This is to me like perfect vampire Peter from What We Do in the Shadows, and the classic Nosferatu, bald, pointed-eared master vampire, creepy. I love it.
I think it's one of the best forms of vampires. I like the fact that it kind of plays off Nosferatu a little bit too, where it's not a sexy vampire, right? And he doesn't become younger after feeding and stuff. He's just like this grotesque type of monster. And I also like the fact that when people become vampires in this, it's like a glare to the eyes, the teeth and stuff. There's not like a forehead shape change or a cheekbone change to it.
Yeah,
really like it.
They'd kind of become like zombies, under the spell of this master vampire. But like, in the books, he's supposed to be talking and suave, but I love my nonverbal vampires, like he could talk if he wanted to, but he just doesn't, I love that.
And this miniseries is, the book's better, obviously, but it depends on what your opinion of King, if you like King, but it's one of his better books, I would say. It's earlier in his career. I think it's a pretty good adaptation of the book of what you could do, not the ass that came out last year. It was so bad. It wasn't bad. It was just boring. It just didn't amp up any stakes or had anything new. Visually, it was very unappealing too. Don't watch it. Yeah. Folks, don't watch it. It was ass. All right. Next one up is this one.
The birds of prey picking at the bones. That's all we own. We're the ones who let the dying know.
The Addiction. A New York philosophy grad student turns into a vampire after getting bitten by one, then tries to come to terms with her new lifestyle, frequently craving for human blood. I didn't get a chance to see this one. Who saw this one?
I didn't either, but I'm adding it now to the list.
Yeah, on the bones.
It's very similar vibes to Nadja, but it is a lot better, and it is directed by Abel Ferrara, who did Bad Lieutenant and some other really hardcore good movies. And this is produced by Russell Simmons. I brought up Russell Simmons earlier for Vampire in Brooklyn. This actually is a Russell Simmons production. But yeah, again, like I said, it's got this very you guys might be a little disappointed, but this movie definitely has way more like vampire stuff going on, even though this is clearly like a metaphor for heroin addiction. But there is a cool like all the vampires show up, kill a bunch of people, type scene, which you always want in a vampire movie. And it looks cool, black and white. It's an interesting choice to make your vampire movie black and white because the color red is so important, with the blood and those scenes. But like I said, there was just this thing going on in the 90s, all these artisan movies, how many DVDs and VHS did you have that were artisan productions and they were like filmed around New York, and they had like Pie and Ghost Dog and this. And, there was just so many of these like indie films that just had this vibe. But yeah, Chris Walken's great. And Lily, what's her name? The main girl, Lily
Taylor.
Yeah, she's great. And what's the girl who turns her? She's in Copland and some other stuff. It's just some good, good. I don't know, but still, I think it would belong in the crypt.
In the crypt,
really? Yeah, yeah, or at the bottom of the damned list, because like I said, it's very similar to Nadja in terms of vibe. So if you guys didn't like Nadja, it's better than Nadja, but it's compared to the other movies on this list, it should be like right next to Nadja, kind of.
So only two of you saw it, right? Blue and Enzo.
I've seen it too, yeah. But I sort of I sort of agree with you guys.
Where do you want me to put it?
Honestly, I'm good with either keep it in the crypt or the last of the damned.
Top of the crypt or the bottom of the damned, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Moving on. Let's see if I can find this clip. One moment. Let's talk about. Okay, I found it. Okay, never mind. Here we go. The only reason I put that clip is when he comes out of his thing and he's like, oh, with his little hand in the back. And I am talking about 2004's Van Helsing. A famed monster hunter is sent to Transylvania to stop Count Dracula, who is using Dr. Frankenstein research and a werewolf for nefarious purposes. Stars Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale, Richard Roxburgh. So, I like
Spectacular.
this movie.
Spectacular. I'm not taking anything less than
I bought
spectacular.
this
Okay.
Do you feel the same way about if Independence Day was on this list? Would you put that spectacular? Because
What if Independence Day was on this list? I would put this on either The Damned or Keep It in the Crypt. Listen,
okay, so this is on the same level. This is on the same level as Independence Day. This movie,
What?
right? Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't think this is a spectacular. I like
I
this
want to hear Vex.
but I don't think it's a spectacular.
Yeah, it's schlocky fun.
Listen,
But as far as a vampire film, this is one of the worst Draculas I've ever seen in a movie.
What?
Yeah, he's awful. He's a terrible. I mean, he's a great actor, but he's not
Very
good in this
flamboyant.
movie. I told you guys about the scene where he's like trying to mimic the heartbeat, and he as an actor cannot do this. You know,
he
where
can't do it on beat.
You know, I'm a drummer, so I can do it, and I admit it's not easy to deliver lines and speed up, you know, a rhythmic heartbeat clapping. But he just does this thing where he's like, I can feel when a man's heart you know, gets faster, and he's like he just sucks at it. You know, it's just not good.
Your impression of that scene was spot on though. Like
I can already hear Vex pre-game, and I want to.
But the vampire brides are cool, except they do turn into ridiculous like Pixar cartoons a lot, and you know, they're hot, but I don't know, it's just a cheese fest. And also the whole thing about vampires like breeding with like eggs, like
Cocoons,
swarm,
yeah.
they're dead. They can't reproduce. I like it when they don't even eat and drink food, you know, they're dead. So therefore they cannot reproduce. The only way they reproduce is making new vampires, you know, like, you know, the idea like we're going to make more vampires will clearly go start sucking the blood of the townspeople, right? That's how you make more vampires.
I think this should be on the top of The Damned. That's where I think it should be.
No,
I don't think it should be in the Crypt.
I agree with a lot of what Enzo said. I think this should be keep it in the Crypt. This movie is god awful.
I would still settle for Damned because it's fun.
Hold on, just
it's
like
fun.
I've never had fun watching this, and I will never ever understand why people like this movie. I've watched it about a half dozen times, and every time just like I have to like it, right? Because I like vampires, I like Van Helsing, I like this whole the putting together all the different like horror icon creatures together in one movie.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's just all the characters are very poorly developed. The effects are fine. I actually do like the werewolf design.
The werewolf looks great.
And yeah, the werewolf looks great. Turning Dracula into like this like metrosexual like Romanian FAG was really weird. Having them like the breeding eggs part, it just doesn't make sense just as a plot point, because then now all of the fear of your main antagonist is taken away because they can just be breeding and then killing everyone that way. Like we see a bunch of them hatch and it's like, why are people even still alive if it's that easy? Like this honestly, this movie was just a reason for Hugh Jackman to look hot and for Kate Beckinsale to look even hotter. Like this movie doesn't even get vibes down right. It fucking sucks.
It
This
definitely
movie
is a
sucks.
product of
Oh,
the early
God.
21st century. Yeah.
This sucks harder than Wolfman. This year's Wolfman did, in all honesty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold up. Now I know
Damn.
you're full of shit. No,
Jenny, I would much rather watch a fucking hairless testicle Wolfman than
Jesus
watch this
Christ.
movie again.
No, you
No.
wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You're just saying
Yeah.
that.
I
No
really
way. That
would.
movie was
I really
fucking
would.
Garbage.
I
There's
can't-
no redeeming
no.
qualities of Wolfman. There are the least redeeming qualities of this.
Like I'm a cringe addict, and you know this movie is not in short supply of cringe. You know, like just Hugh Jackman's hair. Like I'm Van Helsing, and you see a picture of him with his lustrous mane. It's like that's not what Van Helsing should look like, I think. And then
No.
Kate Beckinsale is so hot, she has no business being in 17th century Romania. You know, where are the bad teeth? You know, where are the
Her
hunchbacks?
accent was terrible as well.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And dude, Frankenstein's monster was overacting like a son of a bitch.
Mhm.
Some of the worst acting ever. You know?
Okay.
There are
You know
worse movies on this list that should be in Keep It in the Crypt. I don't think Van Helsing.
You know what? Near Dark is better than this. How about that? I do think Near
Hell
Dark
no.
is better than this.
Hell no.
I agree. I agree that Near Dark is better than this.
I think this should be in The Damned. I think it's I understand Vex's points of not liking this, which fine, whatever. I think it should actually be at the bottom of The Damned because it is still a fun movie. Like it's not. You can turn your brain off and you can just laugh at it and roll your eyes at it. Where the ones that are Keeping the Crypt objectively are bad movies. Like why?
This is objectively a bad movie.
Yeah, totally.
Strip it down to its bare basics, to its bones. Yeah. It's objectively a bad
All right.
movie.
I'll put it in Keep the Crypt, but it's going to the top of it.
Fine,
Okay.
I can agree with that. Thank you.
What's like Vexen? I do like but the werewolf though, when he's transforming, he's ripping his skin off. I know CGI. That was sick. I mean, I'd say
it doesn't make sense though, because then when he becomes a human, he does the same thing, and like where are the lumps of flesh like left in his wake? Like they just kind of disappear, you know.
See, I think Van Helsing, it's like Jay Goodwin said. Jay Goodwin always says that Jay Goodwin loves Flash Gordon, even though it's a shitty film. I actually love Van Helsing, but I'm not going to debate it. It's a terrible fucking film, but like it's got so much campiness. Like I said, the werewolf tearing his skin off, it's so over the top retarded. Like there's something about, I love how dumb it is.
But
you know
like
I mean?
as like a universal monster cash grab style film, it's fine. But it's like a vampire film. It's just
I'm with you guys. Like that's why I really love Van Helsing. There are two movies that I'll defend with my life every single day. It's Scooby-Doo, the live action movie, which I always mention, and Van Helsing.
But what's in with Dracula? When Dracula
Scooby-Doo movie is great.
That's of all things to defend with your life. The Scooby-Doo movie.
Listen,
this is on the same vibe.
Live action movie. Okay. I'll always defend the Scooby-Doo live action movie and Van Helsing, but this is a vampire-less tier stream for sure. So I will agree with you for Keep It in the Crypt, because as a vampire movie, Van Helsing isn't a really good movie because it doesn't do a great job with Dracula and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I'll agree with you on that.
In terms of vampires, I do like the fact that, like, because me and Enzo would talk about our favorite episode of Tales from the Crypt. I like the fact that Dracula in this film is so overpowered that only a werewolf can fucking hurt him. And
I hate that. That's so stupid. The only way to kill Dracula is the venom of a werewolf bite. It's like that's something a 12-year-old made up.
But it gives him weakness though. But I like but when those two are fighting though, it's so like over the top. Like how
he's supposed to have the sun. The sun is his weakness.
Yeah.
Like you think that'd be good enough.
Well, half the films in this fucking tier list, these vampires walk around in daytime.
True.
The one thing I really do like about Van Helsing's Dracula is the amount of speed that he has. They do a lot to show his power, but the annoying thing is that they don't do they don't actually have him going out and doing the dirty work. That's one thing that I don't appreciate, because it would be game over for everyone at that point.
I like the guy from who's the guy who plays the monk who's in Lord of the Rings and 300? He's like a total Chad in those two movies. And in this one, he's like the dopey sidekick. He's got some good range, and that's a great part where he's like, that maiden is like, "Oh, how can I ever repay you?" He's like, "I think of something." He's like, "But you're a monk." He's like, "No, actually, I'm a friar." He's like, "Oh."
Frankenstein.
It has sex appeal. Everything was about making people horny in the early 2000s and late 90s. All the movies had to, have ugh.
Yeah, I will give it that.
Pants.
That's the best that Hugh Jackman has ever looked, in my opinion. So I'll give it that.
Was that a wig or was that his real hair?
That's his real hair.
It's his real hair.
Real hair for sure.
Real hair? No way.
No, if you watch if you look at all of his red carpet photos from the time, he's got that hair. It's his real hair.
Cool.
Maybe we should do a tier of the Scooby-Doo movies, animation and the live action.
I've seen all of them.
And oh my goodness, I'm down. I'm down.
We are halfway through the tier list, so we're making really good time. Thank you everybody who's watching. There's 35 people watching collectively between X and YouTube. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our craziness on this. Just a reminder, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the stream, and if you feel so inclined to move a movie on the list, just got a super chat $1.99. That's it. So just a reminder. All right, moving on. Let's do Queen of the Queen of the Dam is a loose sequel to The Interview of the Vampire 1994. The vampire Lestat becomes a rock star whose music wakes up the equally beautiful and monstrous queen of all vampires, played by the late Aaliyah. This also has Stuart Townsend, who had a weird career back in the early 2000s and 90s. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I think, also came out around this time as well. I like this movie. It's objectively a bad movie, and I think a lot of problems with it. Aaliyah passing away during production of it didn't help. It is a bastardized example of Anne Rice's work, to be honest.
She disavowed it.
She did,
Yep. And the only redeeming quality of it, other than Aaliyah and her design of the character, is the soundtrack, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. This is my favorite bad movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I unironically like this movie, but it is fucking terrible. I actually don't mind Stuart Townsend as Lestat. I think the character just isn't Lestat. Maybe that's the problem with it. But I don't mind his casting. I think he gets the cool, like, kind of sneaky, like, somewhat sexy kind of ethereal vibe of vampire down really well. I like that it introduces, again, it's a bastardized version of Anne Rice, though, right? But it does explore like vampire hierarchy, and there's good and bad vampires, and how they try to interact with humans in various ways, and what would happen if there was a famous person that was a vampire kind of deal, which is like a fun conspiracy theory that we all like to throw around with actors like Nicolas Cage or Keanu Reeves, for example. The soundtrack is fucking peak. I still love this soundtrack. It is my favorite movie soundtrack to this day. But you know what? The weird thing is the deleted scenes for this movie actually make it like 2 points better. Oh. Like, this movie is like a 2.5, 3 out of 10. The deleted scenes make it about a 5 out of 10, which is really weird.
Yeah.
To me, he's not a Lestat. To me, that's the issue I have with it. I don't even think Tom Cruise plays a good Lestat, in my opinion. I actually think the TV version that is out now is the closest Lestat to the books.
Wow.
Yeah. So I actually think the current one is the closest Lestat. Now, I'm saying just Lestat, the character itself, not comparing the movie to the series. Like, there's a lot of that, but I think the current actor who's playing Lestat is the closest to the book adaptation of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that show then, I guess.
I watched this movie for the first time 2 years back when me and Meg did a Wii watch for it, and it's it's just so. If you were a goth kid in the early 2000s, you probably loved it. I was not. I don't like the soundtrack. The soundtrack's very dated, and when he starts singing and he's got the corn singer's voice, that's just so.
Because it is the corn singer. That's why it is.
Exactly. He even has a cameo at one point. The stuff that I get, like, as a professional rock star myself, I can tell you that all the rock star stuff in this movie is very cringe and try hard. But a lot of the vampire stuff is great. There's a great scene where the girl who's got a crush on Lestat, she goes to the vampire bar and everyone's like, who do you belong to? There's a shot where like Lestat is like sitting in the dark and his eyes are glowing and he comes out into the light. Like, that kind of stuff exactly is what I like. And also the Queen of the Damned herself. Like, I mean, she doesn't show up until like the hour something minute mark, but she shows up and kills a bunch of vampires by like flicking her wrist and lighting them all on fire. And she can walk around during the daytime. And you're like, oh, yeah. This is a big problem. We need like a team of vampires to take her on, and they turn her into a statue. Like, all that stuff's cool. But yeah, all the rock star stuff, like when he's like playing in Australia or whatever, and all the Australian goth people are in the audience and they have a vampire fight on stage. It's just like, oh my God, it's so dated. Very, very early 2000s Hot Topic.
That's probably why I liked it.
Right.
Not gonna lie. That's one of the reasons I liked it.
I was a hippie kid listening to Fish and wearing Birkenstocks, so this really wasn't my vibe.
I was a goth tomboy. That's what I was.
Yep.
Where should this go? I honestly, objectively, should go in Damned or Keep It in the Crypt.
It's in the title.
End of the Damned. End of the Damned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I still would recommend people check it out because it has like nostalgia bait, I think, for a lot of us goth kids that watched it younger. But yeah, it's objectively a very
just a last note on this. It took me until because there was such a fallout because this movie financially underperformed, and it didn't help that Anne Rice was very public about disavowing it, and then basically the only spotlight it did get was because it was the movie that Aaliyah was filming when she died, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But there was such a fallout with the studio that they never properly released Jonathan Davis's recordings of all of Lestat's music, so only the soundtrack got officially released. But like sometime in like the 2010s, Jonathan Davis, like I think the rights expired or whatever, and he released it privately himself. So it took almost 20 years to hear the Jonathan Davis recordings of that entire movie in full, which is crazy.
Aw, Niet. Thank you. Gifted 5. I don't know if memberships are working at this point, but let's see.
Hi, Niet.
No, they're not going anywhere still.
Yeah. Memberships. YouTube must be having an issue now. But speaking of vampire movie, I do have a clip for you, Niet. Thank you so much. I hope your Hellboy stream did well.
We're gonna kill every last one of you.
Oh, yep. Do whatever you want to me, hands up. No worries, man. No worries. All right.
Thank you, Niet. Yeah, it's memberships. I feel like YouTube memberships lately, at least from what I've seen with everybody else, that in the last like 3 to 6 months have had issues off and on, right? Where they're not like going through, or they.
I got no idea, man. No idea.
I know Gucci Badger have had that issue with it too. Hopefully,
then maybe it's a YouTube issue. I think maybe these memberships will probably be counted in and distributed in maybe in 24 hours or something like that. Probably.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they get the bug through. But thank you, Niet. Again, I hope Hellboy. Okay, next movie. I didn't finish my sentence. Hope Hellboy stream. I hope Hellboy. Okay, next movie. Gord. Hold on, Gord. I see you, but the rest of everybody can't see you. Give me 1 second.
Why is Gord late?
Yeah,
make it.
There we go. There he is.
He's a pumpkin.
Yeah, he had family visiting. Other little pumpkins.
Oh yeah, Bebe time. There we go. Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna move Enzo here. Gord here. Okay. Gord, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Gord.
Yay.
Hi.
You're here to suck.
Vampire pumpkin.
Oh,
he just wants to make sure Near Dark doesn't move anywhere.
No. I was like, I knew I would get home before it finished, but then when I saw that most of the movies you had left, I've seen actually, like this, I was like, okay, yeah, I can contribute something. This can still be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am really tired. I'm on about 2 hours of sleep, but I'll be fine.
Welcome to the club, man.
Yeah.
It's all right. You'll sleep after this stream. Sleep after, just like a vampire. Speaking of vampires, next movie.
Where'd they find my home video footage?
1992's Cronos, I believe it said. A mysterious device designed to provide its owner with internal life resurfaces after 400 years, leaving a trail of destructive in its path. This is actually written and directed by
Guillermo del Toro.
Thank you.
Guillermo del Toro.
Whatever. It has Ron Perlman in it too. Okay.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo Ooh-wee. I didn't get a chance to see this, which I'm actually disappointed because I do Toro's.
Cronos is pretty cool.
Who saw this and where are we putting this?
Yeah, this was actually going to be the next movie I watched before I had to originally cancel, so I'm actually a little annoyed that I didn't watch it.
I'd put it up and Bite Me because it is such it's interesting.
Hold on. Bite Me what? You have to say the whole thing.
Oh, Bite Me ooh.
Yeah,
like that. Bite me. Ooh-wee.
I don't know how to do it. Ooh-wee. I'll do it like that. But I mean, it's such a fresh take on the vampire mythos. Like, I love the idea of the bloodstone. I don't know if you've seen those subspecies movies, but the idea that you don't need to feed on people if you have a bloodstone, that's cool. But Yeah, it's like a weird, this is one of those vampire movies that's about like the fear of getting old and aging and, leaving your family behind and all that stuff. But it's also got this like drug addiction kind of aspect to it. But yeah, Ron Perlman, it's bilingual. It's in Spanish and English. It's Guillermo del Toro, before he was, officially like an American filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not. It's not spectacular though. It's just kind of a tragic kind of tale, this poor guy getting greedy with this bloodstone he finds,
Yeah, I'm with Enzo on this. I'd give it a bite me ooh woo. I think I'd put it after Salem's Lot.
It has to go after because the agreement with Vex is Dracula stays at the end.
I put it after Salem's
Thank you.
Lot.
My agreements.
But yeah, I definitely recommend Cronos if you haven't seen it. I think it's it's sort of primetime Guillermo del Toro, where he's just really in his game 100%, and he's trying to give it his all and make a name for himself at that point. So already when he has made a name for himself, you can tell that his movies are really good. So just imagine when he is trying to make a name for himself. So yeah, do recommend Cronos.
I will definitely check it out. It is. I'm sad I didn't get to it. I tried to. So I work well under pressure, so I watched everything within the last 2 weeks of the stream. Right? So I was like, every night I was like, okay, 2 movies, let's go. Or while I was working. So I did not get to it. So unfortunately,
you made the list, bro. What?
I know, man. Life happens. On that note, here we go.
Mark doesn't want you because you're mean and evil. He wants me because I'm nice and sweet and pure. So fuck off.
Once Bitten, 1985. A vampire countess needs to drink blood of a virgin in order to keep her internal beauty. It seems that all is hopeless until she bumps into Mark Kendall. I like this movie. It's one of Jim Carrey's earlier roles too, as well. I don't think it's a spectacular. I think it's somewhere between Bite Me, Ooh,
Ooh Woo.
Ooh, woo.
There you go.
Woo. Okay.
There you go.
And beginning of Damned. Like, it's a fun movie, but I
would agree with you.
I'd put Beginning of the Damned, actually.
I lean towards the Damned. Granted, I haven't seen this since I was like 10, but I would probably put it somewhere like the Damned.
Yeah, it's the Damned for me. I mean, there's a lot of jokes that don't land, and in fact, I think the only part that's like, and the only reason why it's good is it's so cringe. It's good, but the dance number they do at the gym and Jim Carrey definitely, he definitely exudes like there's some talent that showcased a little bit here and there, little zaniness here and there, but the whole movie is just about like wanting to, lose your virginity. You're in high school and you got a bone, or you're gonna be a nerd forever. And there was a really hilarious scene where they go to a bar. This is very dated. They go to this 80s club and every table has like a telephone on it, and you pick it up and you call like table number 17, and table number 17 answers, and you're like conversing with them on like a little rotary phone in your on your table. That's like a dated little idea that might be cool nowadays, but yeah, I don't know. It's just it's very soft. This movie has no fangs, It's
dang.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah.
Would you agree that it should go in the Damned? I don't think it should be a Keep in the Crypt.
It's not a crypt-worthy film.
Okay.
No, it's not that bad.
It's entertaining.
Yes.
It's silly.
Top of it, middle, where are we going?
Bottom.
Yeah.
Even worse than Queen of the Dam? I don't think so.
Queen of the Dam had a few moments where I'm like, whoa, that's cool,
Fair enough. Okay.
I did not do that once and once Bitten.
Hi, Jim. Hello. I will say, I need somebody to create me an emoji or whatever of a vampire doing ooh. Out there in the internet world. I need ooh. Blue, I haven't heard from you in a while. What did you think? Did you watch one, Bitten?
Yeah, no, it's been a while. Like everything Enzo said, it's like not, I've seen worse, but it's okay. It's just having it in the Damned is where it's a good spot for it.
Okay. All right. Well, we will keep it in the Damned. Speaking of next movie, here we go.
You get used to killing.
Just forget about that mortal coil. You'll become accustomed to things all too quickly.
That's actually from the Scientology orientation video.
Did you all see this? Yes, we did. Trailer for Sinners. Actually, Sinners at first didn't look appealing to me when it was first announced, and the more I'm seeing of it and the buzz, I'm actually pretty excited to check it out.
It's got potential.
Same.
Yeah.
It was like a reverse companion where like the first trailer is like something and then the second trailer kind of looks like a totally different movie.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but hopefully it's not dog shit like Companion, according to Vex. I haven't seen it yet. But if you didn't know what that movie was that I played a clip, it's Interview with the Vampire, the 1994 version. Vampires tell his epic life story of love, betrayal, loneliness, and hunger. It stars Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Antonio Banderas, and what's her fucking name?
Kristen Dunst.
Thank you. I always forget about her. Kristen Dunst, very young Kristen Dunst on the role. I love this movie, but I don't think it ages well.
No, it's okay.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry. I was just gonna say it's. I know we covered it on MMM. You were there, I think, weren't you, Nadja? Oh, you weren't. Oh, okay.
I think you were booked originally, but you had to
I
cancel. Yeah.
All right, fine.
I think the movie's. I mean, I've rewatched it several times. I think it has decent rewatch value.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie. It's fine. It's a highly okay movie. So bite me. Ooh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What was that?
I don't know. I just tried to get in the spirit of whatever the heck that means.
I think it's gotta go to ooh.
When Oprah was big, Oprah said she walked out of the theater because Tom Cruise bit into a fake rat. Like that's why he walked out of the theater for it over a prosthetic rat.
I don't know.
Hey.
I mean,
I've been listening to a podcast about Oprah lately. Listen, Oprah don't need to be walking out.
But that was one of the big marketing points for this film. Go see it because Oprah walked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it had been a child, she would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Haitian
right?
children. Yeah. As far as vampire movies, though, this is like probably the most epic vampire movie. The idea that you're going to try to do like a 300-year-old, someone that's 200 years old and do their life story. And all that work, this really is a great, one of the better screen representation of vampires, just how like otherworldly they are. And, but yeah, this movie plays out like a biopic, I'd settle for top of the bite me list, but, it's definitely just got very, homoerotic vibes. So it has to get points.
Oh, you should see the TV show.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yes, it's gayer, way gayer.
I don't because I haven't read the Vampire Chronicles since high school, so my memory is a little bit shoddy. But I remember when I read this and then I'd watched the movie again, I was like, for a movie adaptation, it's actually not bad. I don't think Brad Pitt was well cast. I actually think he's the weakest part of this entire movie, which is odd because he does have some range. He just doesn't show it here. In terms of like being a vampire movie, I agree with you, Enzo. Takes a route that you haven't really seen any other vampire movie do. Like you have bits and bobs here and there that try to do like a brief flashback of like a vampire's turning or something like that. I do like all of the kind of like emotional depth this movie goes through, but like the screenplay is very choppy. The story's quite choppy. I actually think this is one of those movies that would be better if it were longer. It would probably smooth out a lot of the storytelling a lot better.
Watch the TV show.
Yeah, I'll watch I want to reread the book before I dive into the TV show because I've heard the TV show's pretty source material accurate. But Tom Cruise dancing with a corpse, pretty awesome. So bite me, ooh, I'll put it in there, like probably the top of that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's weird. Brad Pitt's voice in that movie kind of reminds me of like the YouTube video essayist, like all meek and vulnerable.
Oh yeah, you're kind of right. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, he was not well cast for that at all.
No,
I wish
he
they'd
wasn't.
put someone else in that role.
He looks the part, but it's just the performance they needed just doesn't really fit him.
You can tell that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He actually looks like Lestat does in the TV show, like French, blonde hair.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, Enzo mentioned immortality. I'll never forget when Kirsten Dunst cut her hair, and the next scene it goes right back to the exact same length.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the premise. Whenever you die, you're stuck in that form for fucking eternity. Even your hair can't be changed. Like,
well, I love when he gets turned and he's like, look around with your vampire eyes, and he's like, what did you see? He's like, I don't know, I can't describe it to you. You know, it's like, what do you describe heaven? What it sees?
I think the men are just lucky that their hair doesn't curl up like that when they become vampires. That would look pretty odd.
The effects for 94 are very good. Like they hold up even by today's standards, which is quite impressive. I will say though,
Stan Winston did it.
Right. And we went over this, I remember, in the MMM trivia, but I'm pretty sure because of how uncomfortable the actors were in their vampire costumes, probably is why some of those performances come off as so iffy. Like Brad Pitt was willing to do anything to get out of that role, but it would cost like $20 million.
Wow.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, yikes. It's still a pretty good movie. To
still
me,
good. Yeah, solid movie.
Yeah, solid movie. I think I honestly kind of like the show better.
Wow.
So, but you got to get through at least 2 episodes of the show before it kind of picks up, and it's interesting because the show takes place after the movie. So it's an actual sequel to the movie where he basically meets up again with the journalist and tells the story from more expanded perspective. Like there's even parts of it where they go over to Europe, and when they're trying to search for other vampires, that is even longer in it. So highly recommend.
Okay. Yeah, that's part of the movie that I wish they dived in. So many bits. They introduce so much, but it never gets time to breathe properly in the movie.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
Premise of the sequel is he flipped the tape over.
Well, it's kind of got this like Full Metal Jacket vibe where like there's before, like when they're with Lestat, and then after they're with Lestat. It's like 2 separate kind of movies almost.
Yeah. Again, I highly recommend the show. I think it's very good. Ooh. Hey, I did it right. Ooh.
Hi, you did.
Okay. Next movie. Just the stares. 1931's Dracula, Transylvania vampire Count Dracula bends a naive real estate agent to his will, then takes up residency at a London estate where he sleeps in his coffin by day and searches for potential victims by night. I think this is suckatacular. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, to be honest. The whole Universal Monsters, the originals on it. I think it ages very well, holds up. I love the black and white. Anybody disagreeing with suckatacular?
I do disagree. I think it is. No, it is spectacular. I totally agree.
Hold on.
I'm joking. No, I really like this movie as well. Solid Dracula adaptation. Yes, it still makes him a bit of a romantic figure, but he's got enough evil to him. Bela Lugosi, iconic. It takes a lot of cues from Murnau's Nosferatu, surprisingly, as well, in terms of the lighting and also just shot composition. So I give it that. And it does age really well. Like for a 1930s movie, which usually it has that slower pacing and tone to it, it's surprisingly still very exciting to watch. So yeah, it's spectacular for me. I would say it's like the second movie on that spectacular tier after Nosferatu.
Any disagreements?
I would have put it after Blade, but yeah.
I gotta say,
I'd honestly put it after the new I'd put it after the new Nosferatu, to be honest. But I mean, I do think it belongs up there. I think my only issue with the movie is I think it ends very abruptly,
so abruptly.
But
that's kind of like customary for movies of the time, man.
It was, but I felt like a lot of the other monster movies did it better. So I had that to kind of compare it to, but I mean, it's still a great movie. Like, I still think it's a solid 8 out of 10. I think the set design is probably my favorite thing about it. It's a really good set design.
You know, it's got to get points because it's got. This is where most Draculas get their wardrobe influence from. This specific version, and Bela Lugosi is so iconic. You know, but yeah, like I watched it all the time as a kid, rewatched it again, and it's like it definitely disappoints because the pacing's really slow and it just ends so abruptly. But Dracula practically dies off screen, and I was shocked to remember. I don't know why I thought this, but yeah, you never see Dracula show his fangs. You never have any fangs in the movie ever. There's just like a lot of stuff that you're like, oh, really? I think we're giving, I think we're like confusing other vampire movies with it and stuff, and because like I don't know, just as like a standalone movie, it's just it leaves something to be desired for sure. But yeah, as far as like an innovator and an influencer of all vampire movies to come afterwards, like you gotta give it a lot of credit for that.
I don't know why I was triggered. As soon as Vexabella goes see that stupid scene from Ed Wood between Johnny Depp and Bill.
I was gonna bring that up
scene.
too. The Martin Landau, which granted he had no business winning an Oscar over
Cardinals,
Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction that year, but he is great at that movie. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
So if it was up to you, Enzo, where would you put it on the list?
Well, that's the thing is like I probably would put it in Sucktacular because like it just feels weird to call it Damned or even Bite Me, Even though I personally did not really enjoy it that much this time around watching it again.
You didn't take the same drugs I did then, apparently. Okay. Moving on. Next movie.
Script girl. The script girl. I'll eat her later.
Fucking Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, dude. Like, yeah.
2000's Shadow of the Vampire. The filming of Nosferatu, a Symphony of Horror 1922, is hampered by the fact that its star, Max Schreck, is taking the role of a vampire far more seriously than it seems humanly possible.
Yeah.
John Malkovich, too, as well. Sorry, go ahead.
Malkovich,
yeah. Fucking Nadja. Okay, all right. Go. Shadow of the Vampire.
May I?
Yes.
Oh, I hear Gord. Go ahead, Gord.
No. Go ahead. You're fine.
Okay. Well. This movie is for Nosferatu fanboys / girls.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think like if you watch it outside of that, I think most people would probably find it slow, find it a little bit silly, find some of the acting a little bit like over. It's a bit exaggerated almost. But like as a hardcore Nosferatu fan, I adore this movie. I like that it took like this already disproven myth and managed to make a full film out of it. John Malkovich was awesome as Murnau, even though the aging is a little off because Murnau was much younger than Malkovich was at the time. Was it Willem Dafoe as Max Schreck is just it's awesome. It's like this is like probably his second best performance in my opinion. I have to put this in Sucktacular. But okay, hold on. Objectively, as a film, it's probably a Bite Me Uwu.
Yeah, I would definitely put it in Bite Me. I love this movie, and not only is it a great movie for Nosferatu and vampire fans, but it's if you're just a fan of movies in general. This is such a great like some of John Malkovich's lines talking about how we are the masters of storytelling. He's giving all these big monologues about what movies are and how they're like this game-changing technology, and most people don't realize it. It's the best way to tell a story or to communicate the human story to somebody. Movies. But Max Schreck is fantastic. There's that great scene. It's very understated where like John Malkovich starts like strangling Max Schreck, and he just looks at him and smiles, and like he just on his own just kind of like pulls back and like recoils in horror. You don't know what he's seeing or projecting into his mind, and that makes it so much better. But this movie, above it all, is hilarious. It's very funny, like darkly funny, and
without trying too hard to be as well.
Yeah,
like
it's not. There's no jokes in it, but it's very funny, and it's so weird because the guy who made it, I think the only other movie he did was Begotten, which if you haven't seen that movie, that is insane. So what a weird career. But yeah, I would definitely put it in Bite Me because like you said, it's one of those it's artisan early 2000s, and it got a lot of Oscar buzz, but it's a reserved kind of movie, and It's an easy to fall asleep to this movie too. So
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's funny because this was one of the last movies I watched right before I started my YouTube channel. Like I like
Shadow of
that
the Board coming.
That year I was really plugging away watching movies from the year 2000 and was just going over all of them. I'm willing to defer to people who had the context of watching this with knowledge of Nosferatu, because I'll be honest, when I watched it, I didn't particularly like it. Like I would have if I just based my rating on my first viewing, I'd probably put it in the damned. I don't think it's an awful movie or anything. I was just very bored by it. I didn't really get the silliness, and I was just kind of like, I don't really understand this, but I didn't have the context of like Nosferatu, the backstory of Nosferatu, seeing the new one. I'm willing to bet that would inform my enjoyment, maybe even my assessment of it if I rewatched it. But I just have that one viewing from a couple of years ago where I was just I don't quite get this one.
I just want to, I guess, before we rank it, did anyone? Because I keep thinking that this is actually a nod to this movie, but there's a scene in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. It's when the doctor and Harding go back to his house to talk about what they're gonna do to defeat the Nosferatu and whatnot. And then Willem Dafoe's character just like very casually says to Harding, "Schnapps." And I keep thinking until I find out otherwise, that's a reference to the scene in Shadow of the Vampire where Shrek sits down with the two other actors while they're getting drunk on set, and they're just like, "Schnapps." And then William Dafoe takes the schnapps and he sniffs it and he just takes a huge swig of it. So I keep thinking that's a reference, but
he's got that hilarious monologue where he says, I found the book depressing. Why doesn't he have any servants? You know? And then he eats a bat in front of them, and they're like, "What the hell are they?" They're all freaked out.
What about you, Blue? Did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, like people said, it's schlocky. I mean, probably like High the Damned, maybe. No.
Oh, okay.
Kick Blue.
Fine, low bite me then. Whatever.
Low bite me. So where are we putting it? I think it's.
I put it behind Salem's Lot. Yeah,
Okay.
there. That's where I would.
Yeah,
put it.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next movie.
Excuse me. This is not what I asked for.
Read the sign, sir. We're now.
This is a movie that if I had a channel back when this came out, I would have made a video on it. I was so pissed off by this. The thing that irks me.
This movie.
If there is one thing that irks me, it is missed potential, and this had so much of it and squandered every single drop of it. This could have been a really good fun movie on that John Carpenter's Vampires level, and instead it's garbage. It's freaking garbage. I do not like this movie at all. It wastes Willem Dafoe of all people. I
had Sam Neill, Willem Dafoe, Ethan Hawke. In the year 2019, the plague has transferred almost every human into vampires. Faced with a dwindling blood supply, the fractured dominant race plots their survival. Meanwhile, a researcher works with a covert band of vamps on its way to save humankind. This is Daybreakers, 2009. So, yeah.
I'm gonna have to agree with Gord. This squanders so much potential. I feel like Ethan Hawke is just kind of Ethan Hawke. He's not actually trying to act in this, and he looks so awkward with his teeth too. Like you could tell he didn't get the time to really get used to that addition or whatever. But the plot is just all over the place. The action doesn't have payoff. The characters never feel like they have any sort of proper arc or payoff as well. But it introduces like a lot of cool ideas. Like, what would happen if the vampires succeeded and they managed to bite and turn everyone?
Yeah. Like imagine if you had a Lego set for like Dracula's castle, and then you just dumped it on the kitchen table and said, "There, Dracula's castle." That's what this it has all the pieces. There's all the pieces to make something really good. but it just throws them there and does nothing with them. Like the world building in this movie is absolutely atrocious. It's like, oh, we're running. It's like, gosh, we're running out of blood. The human population is down to 5%, and they're just now starting to tell each other about it. It's like, oh, this won't even last us a month. And it's like, what? You're only just now starting to get around it.
I feel Van Helsing's better than this movie, in my opinion.
Oh, Van Helsing's way better than this movie.
I'd agree.
Way
They're
better.
you know,
and that's
they're
and Van Helsing's not very good. It's so much better than this movie.
Yeah, I have to agree.
This is like sci-fi vampires, but there's some cool stuff in it. Like for instance, I love this, Blade 2, like vampires who drink other vampire blood, turn into weird chiropteran bat creatures, and I also love, Sam Neill's fantastic as this like head vampire who's like evil, and he has a fantastic death scene. What else is cool? Like, the cars and all that stuff, or the future tech of the
the ideas it has
world.
it has some really strong ideas that you could build something really great out of, but they're just there. It's just
there's so many plot holes though. There's so many plot holes. Like the idea of how they figure out, like all you gotta do is just jump yourself in the sun and dunk yourself in water and you'll be cured. It's like nobody figured that out.
Get baptized. Save yourself.
Or they're only just with the population down to 5%. They're only just now figuring out that vampires who starve turn into these things. I'm like, that should have been happening for years.
For a while. Yeah,
all right, I put it.
It's too much dumb stuff that's going on. Yeah, keep it in the crypt for sure.
Okay.
Oh, you know what is also really cool?
Yeah.
One other thing that's really cool that no other vampire movie has done. The idea that when you don't cast a reflection, why don't your clothes, like your clothes would cast a reflection, right?
Yeah.
And this is the only movie that does that. Because somehow when you take the clothes off and the clothes have a reflection, but once you put them on the vampire, they disappear. It's very strange. That's one of the only times where you see like, Ethan Hawke, like Invisible Manning in the mirror of the car.
It's like you handed the blueprints to a great structure to a complete retard. I don't know who thought that the writer directed this was the right person, but they were wrong on both counts.
I also hate it when the vampirism is like a virus. I don't like that,
I'm not a fan of that either.
Yeah.
If we did cover every vampire movie in this stream, we would be here for 12
I'm being
hours.
generous. 12 hours is generous. It's more, probably
So,
18, 19 hours.
I think Dracula has more movies about him than any other character, I think.
I think I think he's second to Sherlock. I think he's second to Sherlock Holmes.
Ew.
Is Underworld on this list? It's not this round. There will be another vampire round. I promise. I will torture everybody. I feel like we are hitting the, I don't want to say top tier because some of these movies are really bad. The most common almost vampire movies, I would say, because there are some real like indie bad vampire movies out there. Twilight.
Yeah. Well, not even that, like the classics. Like I was plugging this show a lot on other people's channels, and every time they're like, "Oh, any good Christopher Lee or Peter Cushing movies on this list?" I was like, "No, not really."
I know. It'll be the next round.
Lee and Cushing, you could do like a whole stream just about their movies.
Yeah,
probably.
they're in a lot.
By the way, Dracula, fourth most adapted character after Sherlock Holmes, Jekyll and Hyde, oddly enough, and Frankenstein.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay.
I'm surprised Jekyll and Hyde. Really?
Yeah.
Who's the oh my god, sorry if I don't remember this, it's gonna haunt me. Who's that famous horror actor? He died 30 years ago. He was in Edward Scissorhands.
Vincent Price.
Vincent Price. You should have a Vincent Price tier list, Nadja.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the top tier could be called The Price is Right.
Oh! That'll be April because March we're gonna do my birthday. April we'll do Vincent Price. We'll do Vincent Price.
We're gonna make sure you throw the Monster Club.
Monster Club. Okay.
We're gonna rank your birthdays.
Awful Vincent Price movie.
No. You weren't here, but March 15th. Mark it down in your calendar. We're gonna do another tier, but it's gonna be Nadia's top 20 horror movies. So.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be
that would be a hilarious demand on your panelists. Of like, okay, I have home video footage of all my birthdays. Time to see. You'll have to watch all this, and we're gonna rank them.
I also think maybe if everybody's okay with moving down by 1 hour.
You
But
mean
it's
earlier
up
or
to-
later?
What's it?
later, but it'll be up to
Okay,
Eastern
that's fine.
time zone people. It'll be up
I'm
to
fine.
Eastern time zone.
Sorry, like
Well-
going on 7:30.
Yes, instead of 7, not 7:30, 7.
Hmm.
So we can talk
Possibly.
about it next.
Oh, it's a half hour. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. How dare you have Van Helsing down there? It belongs.
Thank
Hey,
you, Comic
what did I
Crusader.
what
Thank
did
you,
I
Comic
say,
Crusader.
Max?
Like I would have
said,
it higher than the crypt.
read the
but not
banner.
as-
$1.99 super chat. You can move whatever movie you want on wherever. So
Max, I'm
Just
very
quick-
concerned if I should take any of your comic book advice now that you've said this about Van Helsing. I'm really concerned.
but he also didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine like you. So
Son of a
Yeah, I know. So he's like my nibba in that
You
sense, but like,
motherfucker.
I don't know. Van Helsing, though.
Until
All right,
he's
next-
You're my
90.
nibba, but blood's crypt.
We just watched my channel, Nadia. Oh, shit.
huh?
We just watched this movie last week on my channel. Next movie.
Max?
No, it's 30 Days a Night.
Oh, 30 days and
Yeah.
thank you for reminding me, Blue. 30 Days a
Yeah.
Night, which is after Alaskan found his punch in the
Your mic is fishbowling hard.
Yeah.
How's this?
Yeah.
Better?
That's
The
better.
better?
There we go.
Okay, hold on one second.
Oh, yes.
It's something to do with sharing screen audio or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. I wanted to grab something. Ugh.
nice.
Oh wow.
Ooh,
She's-
nice.
30 Days of
Very
Night.
nice.
Flipping it
Hold on.
out. Oh, my God.
Haha, both.
Nice.
Great comic.
I didn't
book.
know it was a comic.
Oh fuck.
She has
Really?
You would
two
love
big
it.
books.
Two very big books.
Oh, so they're like graphic
Very
novels.
heavy
and
books.
That's nice.
Dang. Okay, I'll have to get
artwork's
on
great.
those.
How heavy are
it's
those
so
things?
good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Vex is always on those things, but the artwork is just. There you go, Vex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it actually looks like the vampires in the movie too. Like they didn't tone it down.
No, I mean the comic is definitely way more graphic, because it has
Yeah.
the ability to be a little bit more with liberate. Whatever.
Liberal.
Anyway,
Words.
Thank you.
English.
So 30 Days a Night, spectacular. And if you disagree with me,
You're hitting your mic cable.
hold on.
It's okay.
Is that better?
It's our first
Yeah.
stream,
Yes.
guys. Don't
We're
worry.
good.
It was
We're
like
good.
30
It's our
seconds of
first-
white noise.
Spectacular. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah, I
great-
agree with you.
It's great. It's very good as a comic adaptation of the comics. It's brutal. It has Josh Hartnett. I love the vampire design to it. The idea of being in a town that is just stuck in darkness for weeks at a time, and then you have these vampires,
Yeah.
so you don't have the ability to rest, right? You don't have
Exactly.
daylight to get a break. I love this movie. It is spectacular.
Yeah, the
It is-
premise is
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, their main weakness, the sun, the vampire's kryptonite, you have no access to. Holy
Yep.
shit!
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it just
I've always
shows, like,
really,
yeah,
really
what-
liked it. No, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Spencer.
I love it too. There's a couple of little plot holes, just like the vampires. Like I think the idea is like it's not really a plot hole as much as like these vampires' downfall is the fact that they do kind of get greedy and try to like ransack this whole town. It's just one of those things where vampires I think work better in the long run when they kind of operate in shadows and they don't they don't gorge themselves on people. But yeah, this movie's
Yeah.
great because it actually makes the vampires like literally like evil, 100% scary. There is
Oh,
no
yeah,
redeeming qualities to them.
No,
A big problem I have though is the fact that like vampires just make this sound. I don't like that. Like
Yeah.
it's not cool when it's a sound that I can make easily.
I mean, it beats ooh woo.
Yeah, it does.
You mean
No.
ooh? Yeah.
Ooh-wee. Yeah,
But also,
I
yeah,
really-
David Slade's like follow up from Hard Candy, and
Mhm.
it's one of those movies where like, or comic books even, when you hear the premise, you're like, oh, that sounds cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
all right, I'm into it.
How was
yeah,
the
it's interesting.
sequel,
Like,
Enzo, because
I like-
you watched it.
I like the sequel. Third Days of Night. The sequel is pretty interesting. It's
On our
not
panel-
as good as the first one, but
No,
Let's see,
and
on
it's
our
not as
panel,
terrible as like
Toxic
the Descent sequel or anything
Toxic
like
did
that.
say the sequel wasn't bad.
Okay.
yeah, it's not terrible, but it's really, really not as good as the first one.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
the 30 Days of Night is it's kind
What's
of
the sequel
lightning in a
title?
bottle. 30 Days of Night, Dark Days, I think, or Dark.
It should have been
Dark
called 30
something.
Nights of Day.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
Josh
Go to studio
Hartnett's really
now.
good.
Let him produce movies.
But I mean,
Sorry.
where would you guys put it in Sucktacular? Because this is pretty good. I think that it's sort of unique in its premise alone, and the way that they did it, you can tell that they actually put production budget and value behind it, which is really, really rare. The fact that I didn't even know that it was an adaptation was really shocked
so
me.
good.
Because I've been watching this movie since it came out. So yeah, I'm very, very surprised to learn that it's an adaptation. But I do like the gore. The gore, the effects are great. I do like the aspect of having all these different people having their different problems. You know, when they're hiding in the attic and you have the man with dementia that's like trying to go away. It's like, there's so many different aspects, and even the aspects of the vampires playing with their food at this point. It's like, I really, really like it. It's the vampiric aspects that I love, where it's just animalistic.
Well, especially on this part, like the one girl, they use her as bait. That's the whole point.
Yes.
You know, it's
That
awesome.
was the opening. The
No God. Oh God.
yeah,
Mhm.
the clip I used. Yeah, no, highly. People forget I'm a comic book nerd on top of being a movie nerd. So, well, indie comics, horror comics more so. So, 30 Days a Night, highly recommend. It's probably in my top 15 of all time, top 10 maybe.
Peak
I have
Jack
to relook
Harknett.
at the list now.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend it. All right, I put it behind John Carpenter's Vampires. I feel like it's a good, like, better than Blacula and Dead and Loving It.
I wouldn't say that it's better than John Carpenter's Vampire, so I agree with the placement.
Blacula would have thrived with 30 Days a Night.
He blends with the dark.
You sick bastard.
It's February. Have some decency.
I said he would have thrived. It was a compliment.
All right, next movie. If you did not know that, that is from the 1987 Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Your mic is fishbowling again.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna hop out and I'll hop right back in.
Only
got it.
one Lost Boys film was ever made, too. They never made any shitty sequels. Don't worry. There's only one Lost Boys film.
I saw the sequels for the first time, and they are bad, dude.
Oh God.
I like to think of the
Hold on.
Lost Boys as the sequel to Stand By Me. This is what
my
happened
God.
afterwards.
You bastard. Now he gets back.
We walked up on a dead body and then it woke up.
To this day, I'll never forget when Enzo does the father vampire. I laugh for a half hour.
What are you talking
How
about?
do I sound now?
You're fine
That's
for
good.
now. It's coming in and
Yeah.
out. That's the problem.
Weird.
So yeah, you'll sound fine for like 5-10 minutes, and then you'll suddenly just fishbowl out of nowhere.
Are you sharing your screen audio?
I shouldn't be. Let me see.
Okay. That might
Fun
be.
fact, I've never heard the term fishbowl audio, and by the third time she said it, I understood.
She is.
what
I
it
muted
meant.
it. I muted it.
Oh,
The third time you used the term fishbowl audio, I was like, oh, I get what it means.
Well,
thank you, Max.
so
Like, Enzo, when you said Lucy, like, remember the dad? Remember he comes back. He's like, I still want you, Lucy. I haven't changed my mind about
Oh yeah,
that.
I haven't forgotten about that, Lucy. Yeah, I remember. He's great. I love the makeup effects on this movie. The vampires look so cool with the brow prosthetics, and this is not just like a really good vampire movie, but this is like an essential '80s movie. This is like the most '80s the '80s have ever '80s.
The maggots with the Chinese food, with the white rice.
Oh yeah, all that stuff's great. And I love that, Jude. There was just something cool about, like, you hear about, oh, there's a vampire movie called, Innocent Blood or 30 Days of Night. You're like, okay. But when you hear about there's a vampire movie, there's a movie called The Lost Boys. You're like, what's that about? It's about vampires. And you're like, oh, that's cool. That's a
I will
great
say this.
title.
I think what we did in the shadows did, like, because they did the rice thing, but they did it with noodles. I think they did it better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Biscotti.
Bram Stoker's Dracula is better than most in the top tier. Well,
no, it isn't.
I mean, if you
No,
believe
it
that,
isn't.
if you read, you can super chat $1.99 to move any movie on the tier. Otherwise, it's where it is. But I also agree with you. It should be top tier.
Here's the thing. I would contend that I still think Near Dark is, because they came out the same year. I think Near Dark's a better movie than The Lost Boys, but both of them are spectacular movies.
Sucktacular.
I would put The Lost Boys in The Damned, in all honesty.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Adios.
Okay.
No, I do want to hear this. Like, for real, 'cause I think you probably could poke hole in this movie.
Yeah, like in terms of the vampire effects, I will agree are really fun and really they're really cool, especially for the 80s. I'll give it credit too that it is pretty like culturally iconic, but the movie doesn't age very well. The rewatch value I feel is just based off of nostalgia rather than all of the interesting things, heavy quotations around interesting, that it might do.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is like a solid vampire movie. Like, it's very middle of the road for me.
Yeah, like I said, it's more a quintessential 80s movie than a quintessential vampire movie. But I think the design of the vampires is one of the best. Like the eyes, the fangs, the head, and
they're scary. I'll give them that.
Yeah. And also the idea that, they're kind of like, the idea that there was a lot of like teenage youth runaways living on the street, being hoodlums at the time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they're representing, bad kids who just kind of, could have been, they kind of fell by the wayside with their lives, but yeah, I don't know. Also just like a who's who of like hot 80s actors, that nobody knew about, and really created a lot of star power. And Joel Schumacher, probably one of his better movies.
100%. 100%.
Speaking of that, I kind of do feel like Jamie Gertz doesn't get enough appreciation for how hot she is in that movie.
She's such a babe.
She's
Dude.
a smoke show in that movie.
What about in Twister?
It might be because she was I guess, a little. Well, no, she wasn't older than that. She was in her early 20s. Of that I'm thinking of Twister. I think of Twister's where she's her 30s.
Yeah, me and Blue Collar were so distracted by how hot she was in Twister. We're like, why on earth would you go back to Helen Hunt? You ruined your life.
Yeah,
it's true.
You got this hot babe.
Jamie Gertz is hotter, and she's
definitely
money.
Yeah, she's a
Well,
sexual
I think
therapist
it should be
too. So.
Sucktacular because I think
Well,
it's a very
especially, like,
iconic vampire movie.
The whole
but go ahead,
vampire
Luke.
rules, and everyone like remember the father. He's like, okay, well, I'm not going to come in until you invite me in, and he inadvertently invites the head vampire into his house, but they still have the old school vampire rules where the vampires can't come in until you invite them in.
You invite them in.
and like Enzo knows this too with the Homeland aspect where you have like, remember the one vampire, the whole friggin' bathtub was fucking holy water. That scene was sick where he's all screaming and it's
I love that.
And
Well,
yeah.
Well, you got the part where Max, he gets invited into the house, so he's rendered powerless.
Yeah.
All the things don't work. He's got a reflection, and he can eat garlic and all that stuff. But then that was a great part where
Exactly.
they say later is like, garlic don't work, boys. It's like, try holy water, death breath. Throws it in his face. But
yeah,
the idea that Max, he's like, oh, I actually like garlic. It's just raw garlic.
Yeah.
It's like you call yourself
It's like Enzo said.
Italian.
This film is probably it's probably not the best film, but because it's part of my childhood, it's so 80s. This is a film from when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. This was part of my childhood, and I have such a soft spot for this film. It's probably not the best, but man, it's so a product of its time. And at the end, remember the grandpa? Dad, are you okay? He's like, Santa Monica. All the goddamn vampires.
I'll tell you what this movie is. I'll tell you exactly what this movie is. It's the tombstone of vampire movies. It's a great.
Oh my god! Don't compare this to Tombstone.
No, this is an entry level. No, it's an entry level.
It
is an entry level vampire movie that kind of gets wildly overrated, but is still really fun.
Yeah.
Tombstone is a wildly overrated movie. It is still good though. This is kind of the same thing. It's a movie that everybody loves. It's not really a great movie by any stretch, but it's a great entry level movie because it's a movie you can actually watch when you're like a teenager and your parents probably won't give a crap.
Or drunk.
Yeah.
I think Lost Boys, like aesthetically, I don't think there's any movie that's like this.
Yeah.
Like just the way it looks and feels and the vibe,
I love the soundtrack too to this day. Come on.
Makes me want to put on purple spandex and pretend to play the saxophone.
So where is this movie going? Is it going Sucktacular? Bite Me? I don't think
I put it in Bite Me.
Bite Me?
Top of Bite Me.
Top of Bite Me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Middle of Bite Me, maybe.
Can anybody play Ooh Woo on a sax?
Enzo can.
I don't have a sax. I don't know how to play sax. I can play it on a kazoo, maybe.
It's close enough.
All right, next movie.
A little hard. God damn, I need a shot for that.
I have that clip, but I also have this clip, which I especially got for Leon.
I'm turning my camera off. Hold on a second.
From Dusk Till Dawn, 1996. Hostages unknowingly seek temporary refuge in a truck stop vampires with chaotic results. Directed by Robert Rodriguez, has George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, quite a few people. Salma Hayek,
Antonio Banderas.
Did you say Hayek?
Hayek, I did. Hayek, whatever.
Row the Hayek.
And also the godfather of special effects, Tom Savini. So
yeah,
this is a fun movie. Go ahead.
It's spectacular just for personal nostalgic reasons. I've told you many times. Saw this movie in the theater when I was 10 years old in El Paso.
Dude,
loved it ever since. I've seen it 1,000 times. And what's funny is I watched it again, and there's still stuff I didn't notice, like clever little like snap zooms and things like that I never noticed before, that like kind of subtly kind of amplify the stuff a lot. But yeah, just George Clooney totally playing like the least George Clooney character of all time. And it's just got that great Stephen King kind of, what makes the better Stephen King stories best is like you get to know these characters and they're on this like, you know, they have their own story going on, and then bam, insert some supernatural element. And this is above all a vampire film, because like I remember showing this to someone and I think they forgot that I mentioned this is about vampires. So when the vampires showed up, they were like totally turned off and they did not like this movie.
What?
When you know the vampires are coming, it's like it just builds up that tension. But when you don't know they're coming, you're really invested in this bank robbery story, and then it just pivots to like insanity.
Yeah, it takes a huge 180.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Harvey Keitel's character in the movie. I really, really like Harvey Keitel in this.
Man of God, and lost his faith.
Yeah, and even it's Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. You can really, really tell that Tarantino was giving it his all in this. He was actually trying to act.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah, everyone was doing a really good job. Even with
Tom Savini. Yeah,
Tom Savini with
machine.
With the crotch
gun.
The gun. Yeah, the crotch gun. It's really, really
it's
good.
funny because in Desperado they showed that little codpiece gun, and you're like, "What did that do?" And then in from Desperado, Rodriguez is like, "All right, I'll show you how it works." It makes no sense. How does he trigger it? You know, he just seems to like, I don't know,
just
think
there.
Yeah.
A little hip movement.
What if like some stripper was giving him a lap dance at the bar and it accidentally just went off?
Jesus Juliette Lewis too was gorgeous in this film.
Yeah, I have. I quite enjoyed this movie. Not gonna lie. Feet and all. I'm gonna
fentanyl.
Feet and all.
Wait, what?
Feet and all. Yeah, feet and all. Fentanyl. I don't know. George Floyd. So I'm gonna put this at the. I'm gonna put this at the top of the bite me uwu end of Sucktacular.
That's actually exactly where I would put it. I would put it exactly there too. I'm kind of torn between it and Lost Boys, which one I think is better. But I have a hard time putting it in the Sucktacular tier because I feel like those are, well, at least the ones of those that I've seen are a notch above Dusk Till Dawn. But it is really fun. It is really good.
I agree with
this. Is the most badass movie on the entire list. This movie is just badass. This is not for kids.
Remember, they were playing the vampire guitar with the guy's corpse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so that's the other thing. The world, how do these vampires operate? It's just it's Looney Tunes. Like they can turn into big rat monsters and bats, and their heads can come off, and it's just insanity. And also, I like the idea that they have green blood, even though that doesn't make sense. It's great for like the ratings.
Kind of like Alien-ish. I could also have been a budget thing or
another film that there was never any shitty sequels that came after this film.
Well, honestly, I gotta say. The sequel part 2 is not. It's pretty bad. The third one is better, but it's those two are way better than the Lost Boys sequels. Like,
well,
10
didn't they
times
actually
better.
make a? Didn't they make a From Dusk Till Dawn show that was pretty good?
Yes, they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched it.
Heard the show's good.
No, the show is good. The movies suck. The show's actually
Yeah.
good.
I mean, I know the sequels are crap, but I heard the show was good.
Vex.
I just came back from Companion for the second time. It's better the second time. Yeah. Me reading that was how I felt watching Companion the first time. So
Yeah, I would have rewatched Companion, man. I'd just go rewatch Barbarian, to be honest.
yeah, Barbarian was great. Like I mean, kudos to them for realizing that Zach Kreger will sell tickets, but holy crap, man, what a disappointment. This is a problem that AI movies have, but I'll save that for tomorrow. It's not part of
tomorrow's
the
stream.
Yeah, wake up tomorrow morning for Vex's stream because she'll be breaking down Companion. Next movie.
Do you realize how much trouble you've caused me? Spying on me. Almost disturbing my sleep.
1985.
Fright Night sees a teenager.
Fright Night freaking rules.
Believing in the
I love
newcomer's
Fright
neighbor is a vampire who turns to an actor in a television hosted horror movie show for help with the undead. I think as well with you, Gord, I believe Spectacular, and I actually like the remake as well.
I haven't seen the remake yet. I've heard it's really good, but honestly,
remake
this
is
one
actually
rates
good.
really high for me. Like, I mean, granted, I have Near Dark higher than that tier list does, but like up against everything else in this list, probably Nosferatu is the only one I might like more than Fright Night, though I'd have to watch it more because I've seen Fright Night probably 15 times.
Fright Night I think is really, really good. Surprisingly good. I watched it as a kid for the first time, and it surprised me so much because I didn't think that I was gonna like it. I thought that it was gonna be incredibly campy and stuff like that. But yeah, I just enjoyed it so much. And when I watched the remake, because I had seen the remake before seeing the original, and when I watched the remake, I was like, oh, this is pretty decent. And I had watched the original. I think both are fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the vampire in Fright Night because he's so imposing and menacing. Yeah. It's something that I appreciate so much. And
Chris Sarandon is having a ball. Chris Sarandon's having a ball.
Yeah.
He is chewing the scenery so well.
Yeah.
He's got this like player quality to him too. That's great. And I'd say Fright Night Part 2 is better than the remake. Fright Night Part 2 is also very good. It's not as good as the
Fright Night
first one.
Part 2 is not bad.
I love it. And it's also very, just like Lost Boys, like very 80s, like in a good way. And you got the same guy who did the Terminator score doing the score. The score to this is so like, it's such it's got like that theme, that theme music. And yeah, there's no fat in this script. It's very tight. And it's like one of these movies that's just, it's fun and scary and funny and sexy. And just the title, Fright Night, it's just great. It's such a great vampire film. And the idea that you've got like this horror nut like Nadja, finding out there's a vampire living next to you.
It would be great. It would be
what's kind of sad though? So one of my all-time favorite shows is Justified, and I had no idea that Charlie, the boy from Fright Night, is literally like one of the primary characters in Justified. I had no idea. Like, I've watched that show all the way through like 3 times. I never realized that was him.
Exactly.
To interrupt, Rio sent a super sticker. Does anybody want to guess what it is? If you don't know what it is,
it's a butt.
Nope.
It's a black cat.
It's a black cat. Thank you, Rio. Appreciate it.
Rio. My people.
Your people? Oh, because you're a black cat.
My people. Hell yeah.
It's a February cat.
So where is this going, guys?
I'd say Spectacular.
Spectacular, yeah. Spectacular.
Where on
sure.
Spectacular?
I'd put it right behind Nosferatu.
Which
The new one.
Behind
the new
Blade,
one.
but still, I like it a lot.
Yeah, behind the new Nosferatu. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Also, this is like one of the rare instances where I feel the remake is on par with the original.
Really?
Which is really weird.
Okay.
It does enough different. It does enough to make it different and standalone, and also like do some nice fresh spins on it.
Exactly. Yeah, and it translates well into like 2010s on top of that, and great like Colin Farrell fucking rocks and Jerry Dandridge surprisingly.
Now,
So yeah,
there is a sequel to the remake unofficial called Fright Night 2, and it is
no.
one of the worst movies I've seen in a
All
long
time.
time.
Yeah.
It's
Does he
bad.
any Bruges in it? Like, does he say they're sucking the blood out of midgets? Anything like
There's
that?
no. No.
The reason why I pulled it down because unfortunately our black cat has to leave. So, uninspired. What do you got
He's
going on
old,
next?
you know.
Blah blah blah. Good evening, everybody. It is my time to leave. I am El Gato Vampiro. The uninspired
El Gato?
reviewer. Celebrate my month. It is February, the Black Cat month. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on. This has been fun. I'm so sorry that I can't stay till the end. I really want to, but my body is it's fighting against me. I promise you I'll be here for the next one. That's for sure on March 15th, and I'll do the entire stream because of course it's not his top 20. All right. I'm gonna be here to defend my cases, but you can find me on my channel, The Uninspired Reviewer. And yeah, nothing really going on at the moment, to be honest, man. I'm just busy with real life stuff, so I haven't been on YouTube that much in general. But just want to say,
I think low key in honor of February. That's why I was late instead of uninspired.
Well, February is also my birthday month, so it's cool.
Gordon, when's your birthday?
It's on the 11th. I'm turning 23, ladies and gentlemen.
You're a baby! Oh my
god! Yep. Oh man, but I just want to say it's an absolute pleasure to be with you guys on the panel. Goodbye to everyone in the chat. Hope you guys have a wonderful morning, evening, or good night morning, afternoon, or good night. There you go, wherever you are. And thank you once again, Nadja, for inviting me. It's been
You're always
pleasure.
You are always welcome, my horror
Thank
brother.
you,
You are
thank
always
you.
welcome. Have
Thank
a
you.
get some rest, all right? So I will
Thank
see
you,
you on the
thank
15th.
Have a good one.
I'll be there. See you guys.
Cheers, Ter.
Bye.
Yeah. His Dread video is fantastic. He does a great Dread video. Oh my god.
I like how none of us broke the news to him that Trump made celebrating Black History Month illegal just now. So
that's
sorry.
great.
Did he actually?
No.
No.
But it'd be cool if he did.
No.
The fact that you have to ask is awesome.
Piece of
He put sanctions on Canada today, so like I'll take anything seriously.
I think he should. I think he should make it to where Black History Month starts 4 days late.
I am not a bigot nor a racist like some of these pumpkins on this stream.
Hold on, Gord, explain to me in the private chat what that means, please.
Oh, it's because Black people are always late. They're not punctual.
There you go.
I also have black sisters, big sisters, so
I have Asian sisters. It's like, look, it's not just white
Middle Eastern
from my household. It's all good.
I'm Italian. Same thing.
Yeah. I have black friends.
I found the worst horror movie ever made. I found my wedding tape. It's only shouting, "Don't go in there!" when I appeared on screen walking in the shirt. Disclaimer: this is a bad joke. Okay. All right. The meow meow. Okay, the next one.
God.
Here we go.
Hey, lady, how about it?
Why does Willem Dafoe pop up in random films?
Hey, Willem, stop stealing my moves.
The Hunger, 1983. A love triangle develops between a vampire, her Celsius companion, and a
Celsius companion?
Her celloist. Her celloist.
What the fuck?
They crossed the border to become Fahrenheit companions.
Am I drunk? Did you see Celsius?
Oh,
she did.
Guys.
I thought
All right.
I thought
It's a block, isn't it?
Interruption.
I thought she...
Sorry. $5. Justice for Bram Stoker's Dracula, top tier movie vampire film.
Oh wow! All right,
Yeah.
Let's put it up there.
Here we go. Thank you.
Gag, Gord?
I thought she
Yes.
was saying Celsius because she broke out the thesaurus for this one. I was like, what's another word for cold? Celsius.
Wait a minute. Nadia, do you mind reading the last 3 words of that sentence? Because I can see them.
A journalologist?
Is this now?
I can't wait to watch
Is
it.
this a glasses situation or an illiteracy thing? What,
Illiteracy thing.
oh, okay.
Illiteracy.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna own up to it. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Maybe it would
just-
be good if you met that reading goal this year. You know, let's get on those books this year.
I have an
Let's do
idea, but for every word you don't know how to pronounce, just say ooh.
All right, The Hunger.
Okay.
Thoughts? Where does it go?
Well-
Where does it go? Directed by
Keep it in the
Tyler.
crypt. I mean, no Jennifer Lawrence. Keep it in the crypt. What kind of Hunger Games is this?
It's David Bowie.
Yeah,
Actually,
David
no, I haven't
Bowie's.
seen- I haven't seen The Hunger. I haven't seen it.
It's good. It's all right. David Bowie's pretty. Everyone's sexy in this movie, and Susan Sarandon gets naked, so that's awesome. But this is another one of those vampire movies about it's about aging, and hematologists and blood doctoring and all that stuff, and
the
trying to
Celsius.
find the cure for immortality or whatever. But it's like early Tony Scott, and David Bowie just oozes charisma, even though he's not in the movie the whole time. But yeah, I would put it maybe low bite me, high damned.
I would agree with High Damned because I don't think it should be Keep It in the Crypt, but I don't think I would rewatch this again.
Yeah.
So I don't think it should be Bite Me Ooh Ooey.
No.
Ooh woo.
Ooh woo.
Ooh woo.
This is so hard for me today. Any thoughts on putting it in the Damned?
I'm cool with it.
Enzo,
Yeah.
Gord, did you see it? Vex, did you see it?
I didn't watch it. No.
Okay. All right. Next one. I didn't see this. Next one. Let me pull it up. I do have a clip for it, and hopefully English is a lot easier with it. Here we go.
Done What is it?
Oh, I got a shock.
Ow.
All right.
Planet of the Vampires, 1965. After landing on a mysterious planet, a team of astronauts, almost said something else, began to turn on each other, swayed by an uncertain influence of the planet and its strange inhabitants. No vampires in this movie, from my understanding.
I saw this yesterday. I saved it for one of the last movies I watched because I hadn't seen it, and I recorded it. So expect a watch for that this week. But that being said, this movie sucked. There's no vampires in it. It's a bunch of astronauts. They land on a planet and they immediately start fighting each other for no reason. They kind of get over it. Turns out there's several people that are dead. Several people are missing. They bury the dead. And you're like, okay, when are the vampires showing up? Then for some reason, the dead people come back to life. They come out of their graves and you're like, all right, vampires. Then the dead people just disappear. And then it's more just walking around the planet for a while. And then the dead people show up and they're like a bunch of alien entities that have inhabited the bodies of the corpse because they need a ride out of the planet because their planet's dying. And there's no blood drinking of any kind in this movie. There's nothing like that. And then they kind of just have a weird, let's blow up the ship because we have 2 ships. We're going to blow up one ship with all the quote unquote vampires on it. And then we're going to leave the others behind. And it was bad. It's one of these Italian knockoff films, all the actors are
okay.
Yeah, they're reading I could tell the actors are Italian, but they're reading their lines phonetically and then they're dubbed over with different actors. Fun schlocky movie, but as a vampire movie, it has to go into the crypt. It's probably the bottom of the crypt.
Worse
than Martin. Because Martin was at least a vampire.
Fair enough. Okay. All right.
If you guys haven't seen it, I'll be showcasing pretty much the whole movie on Wednesday.
I'm gonna check it
me.
through your stream because
Yeah,
I'm not gonna watch it, but I'll watch your stream about it.
You'll be happy to know it was me and Dudicus, and also Meg. Megan was joining us for the first time in a while, so it's fun. We had a fun time watching it.
Planet didn't age very well. Okay, we're almost at the end, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing more tiers every month. And I'm glad Gord was able to hop on at the last minute. All right, next movie, which Vex didn't know existed.
Ooh, ah, ow, ooh, ah, ah.
Yeah.
1992's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Flightly, whatever.
Fahrenheit.
Teenage girl Buffy Summers. Buffy Summers learns that she is this generation's destined battler of the vampires. This is a horrible description of this. This came out before the TV show.
Yeah.
And then it led into the TV show. I loved this movie. I think it's in the area of end of Bite Me, beginning of The Damned. Like, it's a fun movie, but it's not a sucktacular movie.
No.
I think this is just like you get a bunch of drinks, you get your friends together, and you just like put it on and watch it.
Agree.
I would kind of like, granted, it's been a long time since I watched it, but I think I would firmly have it like maybe on the upper end of Damned. I do think it's a fun movie to watch. I just don't think it's a very good movie. It's one of those rare, like, wise moments from Hollywood where they took something that wasn't very good and they made something, I mean, from what I've heard, really great out of it. I know there's Buffy's really popular. I haven't been able to watch it yet. But I plan to. But I mean, it's one of those things that I wish Hollywood would do more, is they would take bad movies and make something great of it. You know, talking about Daybreakers earlier, you could turn that into something good. Buffy's kind of that. They took this idea and they decided to run with it and made something spectacular. The movie itself, I like watching it. I don't think it's particularly good, but it's got enough entertainment value to where it's worth checking out, particularly with friends.
Yeah, I put it in the Damned too.
The whole death scene, stabs him. And takes him 10 minutes to die. Then there's the post-credit scene where he's still dying.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is really funny. Kind of 90s dated, and Christy Swanson, she's such a babe. Donald Sutherland and Rutger Hauer as a vampire with a mustache. Nobody cared, everyone thought it was okay. So
back then,
That's Rutger Hauer.
Yeah.
He's like, you stupid bitch, you think you can take me on? she lights up her hair extensions with fire.
Yeah, I mean,
did you get a chance to see it, by the way?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch this one.
Okay, sorry, Enzo, go ahead.
No, I was saying it's fun and serviceable, but not crypt worthy. So I put it in the Damned.
The Damned. Exactly. I would put it at the top. I think out of all these movies that are listed here, that's what I would reach to more than the other ones.
It's said before, Nadja. If you get a bunch of friends and watch it, you can have fun with this film. There's a lot of campiness to it.
I grew up with this movie. I saw this movie before the TV show. And we did do John Carpenter's Vampire. It is on the S tier as it should be, sir. All right.
Directly in the middle.
That's right.
Directly in the middle. Yep. All right. We're there. Almost there. 1 to 3 go.
Can I get
All right.
some coffee or something?
I don't drink coffee.
Look at Leonidas.
This movie is so cheesy and awful.
It is.
Someone on the panel did a video about this.
Like,
Dracula. Go ahead.
I was like, it almost gets into so bad it's good territory because it has moments like that. But
now
I have to put it in the crypt category. It's
hold on. Let her read the description first. Let her read.
Go ahead.
Dracula slakes his bloodthirst and renews his search for love in New Orleans. This is 2000. Came out in 2000. I remember as a young adolescent enjoying this movie. Rewatching this movie is dog shit. It's just really bad. It holds up horribly.
But the fact that Nadja said a film called Dracula 2000 came out in 2000.
Yeah, I know.
What they sometimes do that?
Like Dracula 2000. Not a lie.
It could come out in 1998 because they're doing a futuristic. Whatever. I'm okay with saying that. Okay. Drink your
Also,
drink,
like
Blue.
kind of like Queen of the Damned. This movie is like very dated musically, and all the Virgin Records like advertisements, like go buy your CDs at Virgin Records, and you know the yeah. So I don't know, man. Also,
in Nadia's
Danny
defense,
Masterson.
Death Race 2000 is 1975. So
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's
Thank
true.
you, Gord.
But yeah, I remember the most like there's a lot of cringe stuff in Dracula 2000, like, you know, Gerard Butler trying to be super sexy. It doesn't really, he's way sexier in 300, you know? He's
No,
not
he's
very
fucking
sexy.
sexy in this.
He looks nerdy in this movie.
Yes.
No, I disagree. This is the only time I've understood why Gerard Butler was a heartthrob. It was this movie.
Okay.
So.
I think he looks like he belongs in like a vampire comedy in this movie. It looks weird.
Yeah, this is another one of those movies like The Matrix came out like a year before, so everyone's wearing black trench coats for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like Danny Masterson is wearing like the Neo jacket when he's like stealing from the museum or whatever they're the heist they're committing at the beginning of the movie. It's so weird. And yeah, I don't know, man. I do love how they do. Dracula does get 3 hot vampire babes that do his bidding, and that's cool. And one of them is 7 of 9, so she's great. But yeah, this movie definitely belongs in the crypt, man. And this is Wes Craven, right? Isn't this Wes Craven?
I think so, yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
No.
Vitamin C is in this. One of her few acting credits.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
Yep.
In a manner of speaking.
I would put this behind Van Helsing, but before Daybreakers.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, I'll go with it.
It's better than Daybreakers, but Van Helsing's a better movie.
Yeah.
All right. Next movie, which was a Enzo recommendation to add to the list.
Adamantly.
Which is
It's okay. It'll be okay.
Innocent Blood, directed by John Landis. Maria is a vampire with a thirst for bad guys. When she fails to properly dispose of one of her victims, a violent mob boss, she bites off more than she can chew and faces a new immortal danger. So basically, mob bosses and vampires. I didn't hate this. I thought this was fun.
It is.
It's aged, but I actually would say it's either The Damned or bottom of Bite Me, in my opinion.
I'd put it in the Bite Me category. It's so funny. That's what I love about this movie.
Yeah.
It's hilarious on purpose. And also very, very violent, very graphic vampire feeding scenes. And also a big bunch of Italian vampires, like take the Sopranos and make them all the undead. And that's kind of the movie you got going on here. I think it's just such a fun, wild, tight 90 minutes, and a lot of sex appeal in this movie, a lot of sexiness and sex and,
a lot of
strippers
nudity.
and nudity. And yeah. I love how horny the vampire is. Like she's like, she wants to eat or, have sex. That's one of the two. She's always in that mode. And Polyarid, is that how you say her name? She's in La Femme Nikita. She's just charming. I love her. And she's very, very dangerous. And I don't know. Robert Loggia is fantastic in this movie. And also Tom Savini's in this as well.
Yep. Yeah. I actually would recommend, if you have never seen this movie, I would actually recommend, if you're into the vampire thing, to watch this movie. So I would put it, I would be okay with the end of Bite Me.
Same.
Who else has seen it? Just me, Blue, Enzo?
Yeah.
I haven't yet, no.
Okay. Actually, I would be interested to see what you think of it, Gord. I think you might actually like it.
Okay.
All right, last but not least.
In fact, best.
I don't know about that one, but all right, here we go. Let the right one in. The 2008 version, not the. I think they did a Western version.
Yeah, they did a garbage version of it, which people think is good, and it isn't.
No,
it's also based off a book as well. It is,
which I don't recommend.
Which I actually do recommend, but it does deal with some very dark topips.
Yeah, the scene of the boys' locker room. I was like, I can't read the rest of this, so I'll just watch the movie.
Well, if you take the idea of the book is interesting because I got to be as PG as I can with YouTube, but it's a girl vampire who's hundreds of years old, and her handler is a grown adult. The reason why he's a grown adult to a child vampire, you can kind of fill in the blanks. So there's a lot of that in the book. It's very graphic, very violent. The movie's this one, the 2008 movie, I think is a pretty good adaptation of the book for what they could put on screen. I wouldn't recommend the other one. It's not bad, but I like the 2000.
Yeah, like to me the American version, it's watered down, kind of like I kind of feel similarly about the American version of The Ring. I think that's a very watered down version of the Japanese version. But honestly, I genuinely do think Let the Right One In is the best movie in this entire list. I think it's absolutely spectacular. I think it's a 10 out of 10 film. I think it's shot beautifully. I think the performances are excellent. I think the way it handles its concept of what is it called? What is it they call they call in I know in What We Do in the Shadows they call it a familiar. So it's kind of that concept of the familiar. Somebody who's going to be there to help the vampire hunt. And it's the way the movie ends, not just because of what happens at the pool, but the implications of the ending are there's in such contrast to what you see on the face of the boy, because you're just like, oh, this boy is basically dooming himself to a pretty horrible life, and he just doesn't really get it. And part of the reason is because you kind of get the sense he is a killer in the making. So it's a very dark film, but it's so well handled. I think this movie's absolutely brilliant.
I agree. I think it should be on the Sucktacular list. I think.
Yeah, I mean, you can hem and haw about which one's favorites and all that BS. But for my money, like, even though Near Dark is my favorite vampire movie, I think this is the best vampire movie I've ever seen.
It takes the concept of like a feral not a feral, but evil vampire. Like vampire, it's not romanticized. It's not like glittered. It's not sugar coated. And I think that plays into why it is so dark. And I also think that plays into the book of why the book is so graphic and dark on it. So
there's a book.
Oh yeah, the book is very dark. I actually have it. You're coming to Vegas.
One of my favorite scenes, because I mean, you always hear this concept with vampires that they can't enter unless they're invited. They even show you what happens when they do enter uninvited, which I was like, oh, I love that. It's like a movie finally showed what happened. That's so cool. It's like she just starts bleeding out everywhere. I'm like, oh, that's messed up.
Yeah. I agree. I think it should be top list. Does anybody disagree with that?
No, I think it's spectacular as well. I mean, this movie, I remember this movie getting a lot of hype when it was coming out. And, it definitely delivered because, and what's interesting, like, you said you compare it to the Ring remake, the American remake of this, like with the Ring adds a bunch of stuff compared to Ringu, whereas the American remake actually takes away a lot of cool stuff that's in this original version, like the cat scene, like the cat stuff. I love the idea that, cats would be such a great, like, not necessarily a weapon against vampires, but like a harbinger about vampire. Like if cats and vampires, wouldn't get along. I like that.
Yeah.
And, this idea that like, the idea that you have to drain of someone to the point of death, that only works when like the vampire's bite is what's contagious, because then you don't want vampires running around. So you got to kill someone. But every time you kill someone, you're attracting unwanted attention. So the idea that a vampire is like constantly on the move, or the idea that the familiar is the one handling all the killing for you, it kind of nerfs the vampire, but at the same time, like, just makes the vampire more scary, because it means like the vampire is just telling you what to do. Why would he get his own, hands dirty unless it wanted to? But that's the other thing that this one does. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, I feel like because you brought up like the idea of it nerfing the vampire. I think in Ellie's case, it works because she is a kid.
I think
child. I never got the sense that this would be how every vampire in that world would have to handle this circumstance. I think the fact that she is a kid is part of what necessitates her having a familiar and doing this work for her. Yeah.
I think the relationship between her and the familiar in the book, even though it is very graphic and dark, is adapted well in the 2008 version of
Mhm.
it. Granted, they have to like scale back on some of the themes that are in the book, but yeah. I really like it. Go ahead, Enzo.
Well, yeah, the other thing about this I love that they do in this movie and not in the remake is like every once in a while the little actress will be replaced by like a creepy old woman who kind of looks just like her.
Mhm.
And like it'll just be like for a second where you kind of see her like looking really old and haggard. It's real like subtle, and they do that a lot. And also, like the pool scene in this one's way better than the American version.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on. Yeah,
that scene is just freaking wild. And if I know that's also Ellie, the actress who played her, Lena Lee Anderson. This was the first movie she ever did, and one of only 4 total. And she stopped acting in like 2013. This was 2008. She did 4 movies. This was her first.
Wow.
And she's excellent. She's excellent.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think this is definitely a top tier vampire movie. I think it got overlooked because it's not a Dracula tale or a mainstream tale, right? Also because it was a foreign vampire movie too. A lot of people want to read subtitles. But I saw this movie, then read the book, and then I was like, holy shit. Wow. Very, very dark. So all right, that's the list, guys. We did it in 3 hours. That's
Vex,
not too bad.
did you see it, Vex?
I think you've seen Vex. Are you there?
Sorry, I was.
I fell asleep.
Did you see Let the Right One In?
I did. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it for this stream. I watched it like the year after it came out, so my memory is hit or miss of it. But I would agree with that placement. I didn't like the remake whatsoever. I thought the remake was kind of trash, and Chloe Grace Moretz with her fucking granola bar physique didn't help either. So
yeah, I remember watching the remake once and thinking it wasn't that bad, and then I watched it another time and I was like, no, it's not nearly as good.
It's
as
one of the
the
most
original.
overhyped remakes ever.
Like Speak No Evil.
Yeah, they try to hype this up, like, because I think it's because it's a Matt Reeves movie. They act like it's good, and I'm like, no. All right, we're with Argyle coming out. I'm like, okay, people are finally starting to realize Matt Reeves, for the most part, is a crap director. So it's like maybe some people will go back and watch Let Me In and realize it's not very good.
Yeah, when like
Hey, ABF,
Cloverfield is one of your best movies.
Hi, ABF. I didn't see you pop in. I will say though, speaking of remakes, do we all know that the guy who remade Speak No Evil is also remaking Audition?
What?
God.
No.
Why would you remake Audition?
Why would you remake
Because it's
Speak
been
No
in a
Evil?
foreign language. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm
Speak No Evil.
mixing Matt Reeves up for someone. I think I'm mixing Matt Reeves up with somebody else. That's my
Matthew
bad.
Vaughn. Matthew Vaughn.
Different Matthew.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yep.
Matt Reeves.
So
did the
this was
Batman.
actually a miss where Matt Reeves has hit on several movies. So I would
He's got
just say
some
this is
good
where a
movies.
miss then. Yeah.
So
I still think
we all
Cloverfield
will
is
be-
the best movie though.
we all
I think
will
Dawn
be
of the Planet of the
seeing
Apes is his
remake.
best movie.
Oh right, okay, I forgot you did that one.
There's a fucking Audition remake. Hold on, you guys are just skimming past this.
Sorry,
you didn't know that?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll pull it up
Yeah.
for you.
And
Yeah,
by the Speak No Evil guy. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll share this. Right. Hold on. Let me.
This
let
guy
me
looks
back.
like a remake of the singer from REM.
Michael Stipe.
This person looks like a remake. Really, Gore?
Jeez.
Yes. Yeah,
Yep.
I figured it fit the theme of the conversation.
Christian
my
Taftrup, who directed the original. Oh, original. Okay.
The original.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's a different
okay,
story
all right,
then. Hold
all
on,
right,
hold on.
all right. Okay. I thought, because all I read was a headline saying the guy who did Speak No Evil, and I was like, fuck. Like, so, but
Nadia, don't fall for the Twitter shit. Read the
I
article,
know.
not the headline.
I usually do. Okay.
You got me ready to slit my
But it
wrists
still
over
doesn't-
here.
listen, it still doesn't need to be remade. In all honesty, it still does not need to be remade.
It doesn't, but if there's gonna be a dude who remakes, it's not a bad
Yeah.
dude to do it. So
Now
I
the
don't know.
question is he remaking it for an American studio or is he remaking it
Focus
like
Features.
for
It's Focus
Okay.
Features. So yeah.
I feel like Focus
Yeah.
Features had a big hit with Nosferatu, and they're gonna start getting cocky.
See, Rachel
hopefully they'll
gets
just
me.
say, "Here, do what you want." Hopefully.
Sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, but the X-Files reboot is correct. What I read off for that this morning. So, but yes, okay. We did
So
it.
what movie should we do on the next tier list? Underworld,
Dear
Girl
gosh.
Walks Alone at Night, what is, there's so many
ton.
still.
I think we can even dabble into that a vampire is a character in the movie, not so much
Ooh.
a vampire movie.
You know what was one I watched, like kind of as a joke, it wasn't on the list, just thinking it wouldn't be that great, and it actually was pretty damn good, especially for a vampire movie. Tim Burton's Dark Shadows.
Oh,
That was some great vampire stuff going on in that movie.
We would be here for another 3 hours.
I'm surprised of all people you didn't say Renfield.
No, I hate Renfield. In fact, go watch
Renfield.
Innocent Blood if you thought Renfield was good. Innocent Blood's way better.
Yeah, there's a lot we can add onto we can do the other adaptation of Nosferatu. Then there's all the Christopher
Twilights?
Lee. Yeah, the
Twilight.
Twilight, the Christopher Lee
Twilight movies.
Dracula. What we do in the shadows, we can do that.
Day Shift, which came out, which was not bad. With
It wasn't that bad either. I didn't hate it.
Wasn't that bad.
I agree.
Ah,
fine.
ABF.
50, holy
Damn.
shit.
Let's see if they land.
I don't know if they
Or
land.
not
though, 'cause
landing.
Yeah. Thanks, ABF. I really appreciate it, but for some reason, memberships aren't working. But thank you. Hopefully, I don't know if I'll have to ask Gooch if it ever got like corrected later on when his wasn't working. For that, I'll give you this. Thank you so much. All right. That being said, we're gonna get out of here. What do you got?
Micah's water is fish bowling again. Thank you for I am an appetite. Thank you for having me. I will be
As al-
live I will be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to review Companion, the new movie that just came out. And then Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, MMM returns for its usual programming. And February is Twilight Month because gay vampires are better than black people. So Gord will be there.
I agree.
Nadia will be there.
Oh my god. Blue,
But thank you.
What?
Blue, what do you got going on next?
Hi, I'm drunk. This bottle was full.
That's
Look,
where you'll be.
see? Exactly. I'm around. I'm over the place. Yeah. Thanks. Nadia.
Driving around, still drunk.
I'm definitely not driving tomorrow drunk.
What do you got going on? That's it?
I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
Oh,
right.
sorry. I bought Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. So
Oh,
Why you gotta
and
be
February,
black?
and in February.
yes.
Yeah. I like how Beck
Enzo, what
said
do you got
gay
going on?
vampires. Like gay vampires is kind of a redundant term there.
That's true.
Vampires are kind of gay. But no, I got stuff coming up. I got a stream tomorrow night after Gooch's show. Just goof offery. And then, yeah, like I said, Wednesday, last minute, I guess we will be premiering a funny commentary track for Planet of the Vampires. So check that out. That'll be fun. It was a wildly disappointing movie. So watch us get upset and yell at the screen.
Yeah.
Gord, what's going
Hello.
on? Hello.
Nothing much. How you doing? Thank you for having me, even if it was late. Let's see. Tomorrow, I will be actually hanging out with Gooch and the gang on his show, so that'll be fun. Monday, MMM, as Vex said. Tuesday, I will be Gore Tier Tuesday will be coming back. I will be reviewing Aladdin, which I'm getting ready to. I'll be releasing a poorly explained for Aladdin, hopefully by Friday, but it might take till the next week. But I'll be editing that this week at the very least. But I'm doing kind of a companion actual review for it. So that should be fun. Then Thursday, I'll be hanging out with Pops. We're going to be talking Master and Commander, which this will be the first time he's seen it. And, oh yeah, and I have my gaming streams, which right now it's almost a 3-way tie between 3 different games of what I'll be playing next. So it'll either be Astrobot, Hitman, or the Uncharted series. Be one of those. There you go.
Very cool. I see you, Nos. How did you not make this stream, Nas? This is you, like your stream. So, hi Trist, I see you as well. As for myself, on Tuesday will be my celebration monetization stream. Yay! I need to get a clap audio on it, where I will be having guests rotating in and out. I will be having some horror games for all of us to play. I will also be having some tier hits, like raffling off some stuff. And most importantly, everybody in the chat can submit a movie for me to pull from that we'll be doing our first members only watch party, as well announcing like members only stuff as well happening on that stream. So tune in then as well. Please subscribe to everybody on the panel. Everybody is an amazing content creator. Next tier list will be a birthday celebration for me, because it is my channel and my birthday and everybody can fuck off. We're going to be doing Nadja's top 20 horror movies. Thank you to Graph Web, Gord, Blue Collar, Niet, Rio, Jamie, Alec, Baldwin's Finger, ABF. I don't know why I had to say your full fucking name, for all the super chats and stickers and stuff. Until next time, I hope you all stay spooky.